The call came at 3:17 a.m., and Cole Matthews knew before he answered that everything was about to burn. A 6-year-old girl was dying in a Phoenix hospital. 3 skull fractures, 23 cigarette burns covering her tiny arms. Internal bleeding that the doctors said shouldn't be survivable. Her stepfather wore a badge, and a smile told everyone she fell down the stairs. The girl was Emma Sullivan, daughter of Cole's dead Marine brother, the promise he'd broken 3 years ago when he let a cop with connections push him out of her life. Now that cop had 18 hours to take her home and finish what he started. By dawn 68, motorcycles would storm that hospital, and a war between badges and brotherhood would explode in ways nobody saw coming. Before we ride into this hell together, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from, because I need to see how far this story reaches. Stay until the end, because what these writers did will shatter everything you thought you knew about family justice and what it means to keep a promise when the whole world says walk away. The phone rang 3 times before Cole's hand found it in the dark. His voice came out rough years of cigarettes and desert wind. Matthews. Mr. Matthews, this is Rebecca Torres, Arizona Child Protective Services. I'm calling about Emma Grace Sullivan. Cole's hand froze halfway to the lamp. The room went still, everything narrowing down to those 4 words. Emma Grace Sullivan, Danny's daughter. The little girl with his brother's eyes, the one he hadn't seen since she was 2 years old, since her daddy came home in a flag-draped coffin. What happened? Rebecca's voice stayed professional, but Cole heard something underneath it. Fear, maybe, or rage. She's at St. Anthony's Hospital in Phoenix. Admitted 6 hours ago. 3 skull fractures, broken collarbones, severe contusions across her back and legs. 23 cigarette burns on her arms and stomach. Internal bleeding. Mr. Matthews, she's 6 years old and she weighs 32 pounds. Cole was already standing, his bare feet hitting the cold floor. Where's her stepfather? Detective Marcus Webb is at the hospital now. He claims Emma fell down the stairs. Did she? Silence stretched between them, and in that silence, Cole heard everything he needed to know. The attending physician, Dr. Samuel Harrison, filed a mandatory abuse report. But Detective Webb has connections, Mr. Matthews. His union rep is already making calls. His captain showed up an hour ago. Unless we find legal grounds for emergency removal, hospital administration is processing discharge papers. She goes home with him in 18 hours. Cole's free hand clenched into a fist. On the wall across from his bed, Danny stared back at him from a photo. Marine dress blues, 24 years old. 3 months before an IED turned him into memory and guilt. How far am I from Phoenix? Tucson to Phoenix is roughly 340 miles. Mr. Matthews, I need to explain something. I'll be there in 4 hours. Mr. Matthews, Detective Webb has made it very clear that you're not welcome. He's filed a restraining order petition claiming you're a threat to Emma's safety. He's telling everyone you're part of a dangerous motorcycle gang. Cole grabbed his jeans from the chair phone pressed against his shoulder. Ma'am, I need you to listen carefully. Emma's father was my brother, not by blood but by choice. We served together in Fallujah. When he died, his last words to me were, "Promise me you'll watch over my girls." I promised. Then Sarah married Webb 3 years ago, and Webb made damn sure I knew I wasn't wanted around his new family. I backed off. I told myself Emma was safe with a cop. I was wrong. Mr. Matthews, don't let that bastard take her. Whatever you have to do, keep her in that hospital until I get there. I'll do everything I can, but you need to understand what you're walking into. Detective Webb isn't just any officer. He's got 15 years on the force, decorated, respected. His captain will fight this. The union will fight this. And if you show up with your motorcycle club, they'll use that against you. They'll paint you as the danger, not him. Cole pulled on his shirt, moving fast now. Then let them paint. I've been a coward for 3 years, telling myself it wasn't my place to interfere. That little girl has been living with a monster because I didn't want to cause problems. I'm done being a coward. He hung up, stood in the dark for 3 seconds, breathing hard. Then he grabbed his leather vest from the hook by the door. The Desert Reaper's patch stretched across the back, worn smooth from years of desert highways and brotherhood. He'd earned that patch in ways that had nothing to do with being an outlaw and everything to do with being the kind of man who showed up when it mattered. His first call went to Jenna Rodriguez, the club's road captain and the toughest trauma nurse he'd ever known. She answered on the second ring, her voice alert. "Cole, it's 3 in the morning. I need the club. Everyone. We ride in 90 minutes. What happened?" Cole's voice cracked just for a second. "Danny's daughter, 6 years old. Her stepfather put her in the hospital. If we don't get there, he takes her home to finish what he started." Jenna didn't hesitate. "Where?" "St. Anthony's in Phoenix. That's over 300 miles. I know. How many riders you want?" "Everyone who can throw a leg over. Give me an hour. I'll make it happen." She paused. "Cole, this is going to get ugly." "It's already ugly. That little girl is covered in cigarette burns, and she weighs 32 pounds. We're past ugly." His next call went to Marcus Chen, a civil rights attorney in Phoenix, who'd been a Desert Reaper before law school changed his patch for a briefcase. Marcus answered with the groggy confusion of someone pulled from deep sleep. "Do you know what time it is?" "I need emergency custody papers filed tonight. 6-year-old girl being abused by her stepfather. He's a Phoenix detective and he's got 18 hours to take her home unless we stop him." The sleep cleared from Marcus's voice like someone had dumped cold water on him. Jesus. Details. Cole gave him everything in 2 minutes flat. When he finished, Marcus was already typing the click of keys audible through the phone. "I'll file electronically within the hour. But Cole, you need to understand what you're up against. Cops protect their own, even dirty ones. Especially dirty ones. This Webb guy, if he's got connections, they'll circle the wagons. Then we bring a bigger circle. I'm serious. They'll use everything against you. Your record, your club, every bar fight and traffic ticket. They'll make you look like the threat." Cole's jaw tightened. "I don't care what I look like. I care about getting that little girl somewhere safe." "All right, I'll meet you at the hospital. And Cole, for God's sake, keep your people under control. The minute anyone throws a punch or says something stupid, we lose. My people know how to act. We've got teachers and nurses and construction workers. We're not what they think we are. Doesn't matter what you are. Matters what they can make you look like." Cole hung up and made his third call. Victor Pops Santana picked up on the first ring, voice clear and sharp despite being 74 years old. 30 years Navy NCIS before retirement, and still the sharpest investigator Cole knew. Someone better be dying. "Danny Morrison's daughter, Emma, 6 years old. Her stepfather's a Phoenix detective, and I think he's killing her." Pops was quiet for exactly 3 seconds. "I'm in. What do you need?" "Everything you can dig up on Detective Marcus Webb, Phoenix PD, 15 years on the force. I want to know what he's hiding." "You think there's more than just the abuse?" "I think cops don't usually beat 6-year-olds to death unless they've got something to hide. Emma's mother died 9 months ago. Car accident, brake failure. You think it wasn't an accident? I think it's one hell of a coincidence that Sarah was about to divorce him and then her brakes failed. I'll start digging. Give me 3 hours." Cole's fourth call was to Big Mike Patterson, high school English teacher and the club's sergeant at arms. Mike answered with a grunt. "Reaper, this better be good. We ride at dawn. Danny's daughter. Hospital. Abuse. I need every rider who can make it." Mike didn't ask questions. "I'll work the phone tree. How many miles?" 340 to Phoenix. "I'll have you 30 riders minimum." "Thank you, brother. That's what we do." Cole kept dialing. Every call got the same response. The words changed, but the answer stayed the same. "I'm in. Where do we meet? What do you need?" "The desert." Reapers weren't an MC in the traditional sense. No criminal enterprise, no drug running, no territory wars. They were veterans and teachers, nurses and construction workers, mechanics and firefighters who rode together because somewhere along the way they'd figured out that family wasn't always blood. Sometimes family was the people who answered the phone at 3 in the morning and didn't ask why, just where and when. By 4:30, Cole was geared up. Leather vest over a black t-shirt, boots worn smooth from 10,000 miles of asphalt. He walked into his garage where his Harley Road King waited in the shadows, black chrome and raw power built from scrap and stubbornness after he'd come home from Afghanistan with shrapnel in his leg and nightmares in his head. He kicked it to life. The engine roared, echoing off the walls. One more ride, girl. One more promise to keep. The truck stop off I-10 was already half full when Cole rolled in at 5 a.m. Motorcycles lined up in neat rows, riders standing around with coffee and cigarettes, their breath visible in the cold desert morning. Jenna saw him first, walked over with her helmet under her arm. 68 riders, Cole. Everyone who could make it showed up. Cole's throat went tight. He'd expected maybe 30, hoped for 40. 68 was an army. Jesus. Danny was family. That makes Emma family. Simple as that. Pops limped over on his bad knee, the one that still had Vietnamese shrapnel embedded too close to the joint to remove. Got some preliminary information on your detective Webb. You're not going to like it. Tell me. Marcus Webb, 42 years old, 15 years with Phoenix PD, currently assigned to narcotics. Decorated officer, multiple commendations. Married Sarah Sullivan 3 years ago, became Emma's legal guardian. Sarah died 9 months ago, single vehicle accident on State Route 60, brake line failure. Investigation concluded mechanical failure, no foul play, suspected. You don't believe that? I believe brake lines don't usually fail on 3-year-old vehicles with regular maintenance. I also believe that Sarah filed for divorce 2 weeks before she died. And I believe that Webb was the primary investigator on a major drug bust 6 months before that, where $200,000 in cash went missing from evidence. Cole's hands clenched. He's dirty. Can't prove it yet, but my gut says yes. And if he is, Emma's not just a victim of abuse. She's a witness who needs to be silenced. Marcus Chen pulled up in his Tesla, killed the engine, and walked over. Emergency custody petition is filed. We've got a hearing scheduled for 10 a.m. Judge Sandra Morrison. She's fair but tough. Won't take any bullshit from either side. Will she grant it? If we can prove immediate danger, yes. But Webb's lawyer is already filing counter motions. They're arguing that you have no legal standing, that you're not family, that you're a member of a dangerous organization. They're going to fight this hard. Jenna interrupted. We need to talk about how we're doing this. 68 bikers rolling up on a hospital is going to look like an invasion. We need to be smart. Big Mike joined them, his massive frame blocking out the rising sun. Jenna's right. We go in hot, we lose. We need to look like concerned citizens, not a gang. Cole nodded. When we get there, we park clean. 2 straight lines. Engines off. Nobody goes inside except me, Marcus, and Jenna. The rest of you stay outside. Keep it peaceful. Hands visible, respectful. We're not there to start trouble. We're there to stand witness. A younger rider, Tommy Chen, Marcus's nephew, and a construction foreman, called out from his bike. What if Webb's people try to move us? Then we comply with lawful orders, but we don't leave the property. We have a legal right to be there during visiting hours in public spaces. They can't make us disappear. Pops cleared his throat. One more thing. Webb's going to have backup. Cops protect their own, even the dirty ones. Expect resistance. Then we show them what real brotherhood looks like, Cole said. We're not there to fight. We're there to protect a 6-year-old girl who's been failed by everyone who was supposed to keep her safe, including me. The riders gathered closer. Cole looked at their faces. Teachers and nurses, mechanics and veterans. People who worked honest jobs and paid their taxes, and rode motorcycles on weekends because it made them feel free. People who dropped everything at 3 in the morning because a little girl needed help. Most of you never met Danny Morrison, Cole said. He died in Fallujah in 2009, jumped on a grenade to save 6 men, including me. Before he died, bleeding out in that Afghan dirt, he made me promise to watch over his wife and daughter. I promised. Then I failed. I let that little girl disappear into a life with a man who beats her and burns her and starves her. That ends today. He paused, making eye contact with as many riders as he could. We're riding 340 miles to Phoenix. When we get there, we're walking into a hospital where a decorated cop is going to have friends and backup, and the weight of the system behind him. They're going to call us criminals and thugs and a dangerous gang. They're going to try to make us the threat. And we're going to prove them wrong by staying calm, staying peaceful, and refusing to leave until that little girl is safe. Jenna stepped forward. What if hospital security tries to remove us? We comply with lawful orders, but we stay on public property. They can't arrest us for standing in a parking lot. What if Webb tries to take Emma before we get there? Cole's jaw clenched. Then we call Rebecca Torres, we call Marcus, and we pray we're fast enough. Big Mike raised his hand. One more thing, brother. When we get there, what's the message? What do we tell people who ask why we're there? The truth. We're there because a 6-year-old girl is being abused, and every adult who should have protected her failed. We're there to make sure she's not alone anymore. Pops limped to the front, raised his coffee cup. Danny Morrison was a warrior, the kind of man who put others before himself. If he was here, he'd do this for any of our kids. So we do it for his. 68 voices rumbled in agreement. Cole mounted his Harley, kicked it to life. The engine's roar was answered by 67 others, a thunder that rolled across the empty desert truck stop. He looked back at his family, this army of everyday heroes who'd shown up in the dark. Desert Reapers, we ride for Emma. The convoy pulled onto I-10 as the sun broke over the eastern mountains, painting the desert gold and red. 2 columns staggered formation, professional and tight. This wasn't a bunch of weekend warriors out for a joyride. This was a precision operation, and every rider knew it. Cole's phone buzzed 20 minutes into the ride. Rebecca Torres. He pulled over the convoy, following suit. Talk to me. Mr. Matthews Webb just tried to check Emma out. Dr. Harrison is refusing to sign discharge papers claiming medical necessity, but Webb's captain showed up with a lawyer. They're threatening the hospital with litigation. Administration is scared. I don't know how much longer we can hold them. Cole checked his watch. 6:15 a.m. We're 2 hours out. Can you give me that? I'll try. But you need to know that Webb knows someone called CPS. He's threatening to find out who, and he's making it clear what happens to people who get in his way. I've got security walking me to my car now. He threatened you. Not directly. But his captain made sure I understood that false accusations against decorated officers have consequences. Cole's grip on the phone tightened. Rebecca, thank you. For calling me. For standing up. Just get here. That little girl keeps asking if anyone's coming to help her. I don't want to lie to her anymore. The call ended. Cole relayed the information to Jenna and Marcus. Jenna's face went hard. We need to move faster. We move any faster, we get pulled over, and this whole thing ends before we get there, Marcus said. Webb would love nothing more than to have Cole arrested for reckless driving or some trumped-up charge. Cole knew he was right, but everything in him screamed to open the throttle and fly. Instead, he forced himself to breathe, to think. We stay at speed limit. We stay tight. We get there in one piece. They rode on. The sun climbed higher, burning off the morning chill. At the hour mark, Pops called. I've got more on Webb. Talked to some old contacts at NCIS, made some calls to FBI Phoenix. There's a joint task force investigating corruption in Phoenix PD's narcotics division. Webb's name has come up multiple times, but they don't have enough for charges yet. What are they looking at him for? Evidence tampering, possibly drug trafficking. The working theory is that some officers are skimming from busts reselling on the street. Small amounts so it doesn't get noticed. But if they're right, we're talking about dirty cops who've already killed to protect their operation. Cole's blood ran cold. You think Sarah found out? I think Sarah worked in banking, had access to Webb's accounts, probably noticed money showing up that shouldn't be there. I think she started asking questions, maybe even started documenting things. And I think that got her killed. Can you prove it? Not yet. But I've got people digging. If there's evidence, we'll find it. At the 90-minute mark, they stopped for gas at a truck stop outside Phoenix. While the bikes fueled up, Cole gathered the core group. Jenna, Marcus, Pops, Big Mike, and a handful of others. We need to be ready for anything, Cole said. Webb's already threatened Rebecca. His captain's running interference at the hospital. And if Pops is right, we're not just dealing with one dirty cop. We're dealing with a network that's already killed at least once to stay hidden. Marcus pulled out his tablet, showed them hospital schematics he'd somehow acquired. St. Anthony's has one main entrance, two emergency entrances, and a staff entrance on the west side. Pediatric ICU is on the 4th floor east wing. Security office is ground floor main lobby. How are we playing this? Jenna asked. Cole studied the layout. We roll in park in the main lot. 2 clean lines, engines off, respectful. Marcus, Jenna, and I go inside with Rebecca. Everyone else stays outside in the lot unless we call for backup. We're visible but not threatening. We want news cameras if they show up. We want witnesses. What's the legal play? Big Mike asked. Marcus pulled up documents on his tablet. Emergency custody petition is filed. Hearing is at 10 a.m., roughly 3 hours from now. But Webb's team is going to argue that Cole has no standing, that he's not family, that he's a danger. They'll use his record, his club membership, anything they can twist. What about the medical evidence? Jenna asked. 23 cigarette burns doesn't happen by accident. Dr. Harrison's report is damning, but Webb's lawyer is already claiming Emma has a history of self-harm, that she's a troubled child who hurts herself for attention. They're building a narrative where Webb is the devoted stepfather dealing with a disturbed child. Cole's hands clenched into fists. Anyone who looks at that little girl will know that's bullshit. Maybe, Marcus said quietly. But juries have believed worse. And right now we're not dealing with a jury. We're dealing with hospital administration that doesn't want legal trouble and cops who protect their own. Tommy Chen spoke up. What happens if they release Emma before the hearing? What if we get there and they've already signed her out? The question hung in the air. Cole's jaw worked. Then we follow them. We don't let her out of our sight. That's stalking, Marcus warned. That's exactly what Webb's lawyer wants. One wrong move and you're arrested, and Emma goes home with him while you're in lockup. So what do? We trust the system. We trust the judge. We trust that good people like Dr. Harrison and Rebecca Torres will stand up. Cole looked at his brothers. And if the system fails? Nobody answered. They mounted up for the final leg. Phoenix spread out before them, sprawling and hot even in early morning. The city that had swallowed Emma whole, that had let a 6-year-old girl be tortured in plain sight. St. Anthony's Hospital rose ahead, white and imposing. Cole's heart hammered as they took the exit. This was it. Everything came down to the next few hours. The convoy pulled into the main parking lot at 8:47 a.m. 68 motorcycles moving in perfect formation, parking in 2 straight lines. Engines cut simultaneously. The silence after all that thunder was deafening. Cole dismounted, looked at his army. They looked back ready. Remember, he said, we're peaceful, we're respectful, we're here for Emma. Nothing else matters. They walked toward the main entrance, Cole in the lead with Jenna and Marcus flanking him. Behind them, 65 riders spread out across the parking lot, standing witness. Hospital security had already noticed them, radios crackling to life. Cole pushed through the main doors into the lobby. The air conditioning hit him like a wall. The lobby was busy with morning shift changes, visitor staff moving with purpose. A security guard immediately approached. Sir, can I help you? Cole kept his voice calm, respectful. I'm here to see Emma Sullivan. I'm her godfather. The guard's eyes flicked to Cole's leather vest, to Jenna and Marcus behind him. I'll need to check with administration. Please wait here. We'll wait. The guard spoke into his radio, his eyes never leaving them. Cole could feel the weight of attention, people staring, whispering. A biker gang in the hospital lobby. Exactly what Webb would use against them. 2 more guards appeared, along with a woman in a business suit. Hospital administration by the look of her. She approached with a professional smile that didn't reach her eyes. Gentlemen, ma'am, I'm Director Hayes. How can I help you? Marcus stepped forward, all lawyer now. We're here regarding Emma Sullivan, currently admitted to pediatric ICU. I'm Marcus Chen, attorney for Mr. Cole Matthews. We've filed emergency custody papers with family court, and we're here to ensure Emma's safety pending today's hearing. Director Hayes' smile tightened. I see. Mr. Matthews, I'm aware of the situation, and I need to inform you that Emma's legal guardian, Detective Webb, has made it clear that you're not authorized for visitation. Detective Webb is the reason Emma's in this hospital, Cole said quietly. 23 cigarette burns, 3 skull fractures, broken collarbone. You really want to send her home with him. Mr. Matthews, I understand your concern, but no, you don't understand. Cole fought to keep his voice level. I served with Emma's father. I held him while he died. I promised him I'd protect his daughter, and I failed. I'm not failing her again. Director Hayes glanced toward the parking lot visible through the glass doors. Mr. Matthews, you've brought quite a group with you. That's concerning. They're concerned citizens, Marcus said smoothly, exercising their First Amendment rights in a public space. Is there a law against standing in a hospital parking lot? No, but... Rebecca Torres appeared from the elevator bank walking fast. When she saw Cole, relief flooded her face. Mr. Matthews, thank God. Director Hayes turned. Ms. Torres, this isn't appropriate. Neither is sending a 6-year-old back to her abuser, Rebecca shot back. Director Hayes, I've filed 3 separate reports documenting Emma's injuries. Dr. Harrison has refused to sign discharge papers, and yet your administration is considering releasing her into Detective Webb's custody purely because he's threatened litigation. That's not... Yes, it is. Rebecca's voice was steel. I've worked CPS for 12 years. I know what I'm looking at. And I'm telling you that if you send that child home with Webb, she'll be dead within a month, maybe a week. And when she is, I'll make sure every news outlet in Arizona knows that this hospital had a chance to save her and chose protecting themselves over protecting a child. The lobby had gone quiet, everyone watching. Director Hayes' face flushed. Ms. Torres, you're out of line. No, Director Hayes, you are. Now, Mr. Matthews has legal representation and a filed custody petition. Unless you can provide legal grounds to deny him visitation, I'm taking him up to see Emma right now. Director Hayes opened her mouth, closed it. She looked at the security guards, at Marcus, with his lawyer briefcase, at Cole standing there in his leather vest with 67 more riders visible through the glass. Fine. But only Mr. Matthews, Ms. Torres, and Mr. Chen. Everyone else stays in the lobby. Cole turned to Jenna. Stay here. Keep everyone calm. She nodded. Go get her Reaper. The elevator ride to the 4th floor was silent. Cole's heart hammered against his ribs. In a few seconds, he'd see Emma for the first time since she was 2 years old, since before her world fell apart. The pediatric ICU was quieter than the lobby, sanitized and clinical. Rebecca led them to room 417, paused outside the door. Mr. Matthews, I need to prepare you. Emma's terrified. She's been asking if anyone's coming to help her, but she doesn't know you. She was 2 when you last saw her. To her, you're a stranger. I know. And she's been through hell. The injuries you know about, but there's more. Malnutrition, signs of prolonged neglect. Evidence of previous fractures that healed wrong. This has been going on for months, maybe longer. Cole's jaw clenched so hard his teeth hurt. Where's Webb now? His lawyer got him removed from the ICU after he tried to intimidate staff. But he's somewhere in the hospital, and he's got officers with him. The minute he knows you're here, this is going to escalate. Then let it escalate. Rebecca opened the door. The room was dim, curtains drawn. A small figure lay in the hospital bed, so small she barely made a shape under the blankets. Monitors beeped quietly. An IV drip connected to her arm. Cole stepped inside, his breath catching in his throat. Emma, Danny's daughter. She had her father's eyes, those same blue-gray eyes that had stared at him across a card table in Forward Operating Base Hunter, that had looked at him in the dust when the IED went off. Those eyes looked at him now, wide and scared. Emma shrank back against her pillows, her small voice barely a whisper. Are you the bad man? Cole's heart shattered. He knelt down beside the bed, making himself small, non-threatening. No, sweetheart. I'm your daddy's friend. Your daddy, Danny. He asked me to watch over you, and I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here now. Emma studied him with those 2 old eyes that had seen things no 6-year-old should see. You knew my daddy. I did. We were Marines together. Best friends. He was the bravest man I ever knew. He died. Yeah, he did. And before he died, he made me promise to take care of you. I'm sorry I took so long to keep that promise. A tear rolled down Emma's bruised cheek. Daddy Marcus said you were bad. He said you were dangerous. I'm not bad, Emma. I'm here to help you. He said nobody would believe me. He said I fell down the stairs and that's what I have to tell everyone. Cole's hands shook. Did you fall down the stairs? Emma's eyes filled with tears. She shook her head just slightly. Emma, this is very important. Did Daddy Marcus hurt you? Her whisper was almost inaudible. He gets angry. At you. At Mommy. Then at me when Mommy went away. Your mommy died, didn't she? Emma nodded, tears falling faster now. Her car broke. She was going to leave. She found Daddy Marcus's secret phone. She was crying. She said he was doing bad things. Then her car broke. Every word landed like a punch. Cole looked back at Marcus and Rebecca. Marcus had his phone out recording. Emma's testimony, spoken by a 6-year-old child who didn't understand what she was really saying, was evidence of murder. Emma, Cole said gently, how did you get hurt this time? Her small hand touched the bandage on her head. I told my teacher about the burns. She asked me where I got them, and I told her. Then she called someone, and Daddy Marcus found out. He said I told secrets, and secrets get people hurt. Then he hurt me. Cole closed his eyes, fighting for control. When he opened them, Emma was watching him with those haunted eyes. Emma, I brought some friends with me. A lot of friends. 68 of them. They're all downstairs right now, and they're not leaving until you're safe. Do you understand? You're not alone anymore. Emma's eyes went wide. 68. 68 people who rode a long way just to make sure you're okay, because that's what family does. They show up. Are you my family? Cole's voice broke. Yeah, sweetheart, I'm your family, and I'm not letting anyone hurt you ever again. Emma reached out her small bandaged hand. Cole took it, careful of her burns of the IV line. She squeezed his finger. Promise. On your daddy's grave, Emma. I promise. The door burst open. Detective Marcus Webb stood there, 2 uniformed officers flanking him. He was everything Cole expected, mid-40s fit, with the kind of face that looked good in courtrooms and family photos. The face of a man who hurt children and got away with it. Get away from her. Webb's voice was cold, controlled. You're in violation of a restraining order. Marcus stepped forward. No restraining order has been granted, detective, and my client has every right to be here. Webb's eyes flicked to Marcus, dismissed him, focused back on Cole. You have no rights here. Emma is my daughter, mine, and you're trespassing. Cole stood slowly, putting himself between Webb and the bed. Your daughter? That's interesting because Emma just told me you've been hurting her. She's 6. She doesn't know what she's saying. She knows exactly what she's saying. She knows her mother found your secret phone. She knows her mother was going to leave. She knows her mother's brakes failed. Lot of tragedy in your life, detective. Webb's jaw tightened. You need to leave, now. Not until Emma's safe. One of the uniformed officers stepped forward. Sir, you need to comply. Cole didn't move. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm visiting a child in a hospital. You're harassing a police officer and interfering with his family. His family that's covered in cigarette burns and skull fractures. That family. The tension in the room was explosive. Marcus moved closer to Cole, his voice low. Don't do this. Don't give them a reason. Webb smiled, but there was nothing warm in it. You think you're some kind of hero. You and your little biker gang. You're criminals playing dress-up. And when this is over, when Emma comes home with me where she belongs, I'm going to make sure you spend the next 10 years in prison for what you've done today. What I've done is keep a promise to a better man than you'll ever be. Webb took a step forward, his hand dropping to his belt. Behind them, Emma whimpered. The sound broke through Cole's rage, reminded him why he was there. We can do this the easy way or the hard way, Webb said. But either way, you're leaving. Marcus pulled out his phone. Actually, detective, we're not. And if you attempt to remove my client, I'm calling Judge Morrison right now. I'm sure she'd be very interested to hear how you're interfering with a pending custody case. Webb's eyes narrowed. Sandra Morrison. You got to her. I filed legal papers. That's what lawyers do. Sandy and I go way back. She knows me. She knows what kind of man I am. Then I'm sure she'll be interested in the medical reports documenting systematic abuse, and the recording we just made of Emma describing how her mother was murdered. Cole saw it happen, the flash of rage that crossed Webb's face before he controlled it. That split second of dropped mask where the monster showed through. Webb had just confirmed everything. That recording won't be admissible, Webb said. You recorded a minor without guardian consent. Actually, CPS has temporary protective custody, which means Ms. Torres can grant consent, which she did, on camera. Marcus held up his phone. Funny thing about cameras, detective. They catch everything. Webb's hand flexed on his belt fingers, twitching toward his weapon. The two officers with him shifted uncomfortably. They were reading the situation. Cole could see it, starting to wonder if they were backing the right horse. You're going to regret this, Webb said quietly. All of you. Emma Daddy's going to take you home soon. These people are lying to you. They're trying to take you away from me. Emma's small voice came from the bed. I don't want to go home. Webb flinched like she'd slapped him. Emma, baby, these people are confusing you. I don't want to go home. Emma's voice rose, panicked. Please don't make me go home. He hurts me. The monitors started beeping faster as Emma's heart rate spiked. A nurse rushed in, pushing past the officers. Everyone out. Now. She's having a panic attack. Webb stood there frozen, his careful facade crumbling as his stepdaughter screamed in terror at the sight of him. The two officers exchanged glances, their doubt visible now. Dr. Samuel Harrison appeared in the doorway, his face stern. Detective Webb, you need to leave. You're causing my patient distress. I have every right. You have no rights in my ICU, detective. This child's heart rate is through the roof because she's terrified of you. Security. More guards appeared. Director Hayes was there too, her face pale. The situation was spiraling and everyone knew it. Mr. Matthews. Ms. Torres, you need to leave as well. Dr. Harrison said. I need to treat my patient. Cole looked back at Emma, at this tiny, terrified girl surrounded by machines and needles. Emma, I'll be right outside. I'm not leaving this hospital, I promise. Emma nodded through her tears. The nurse was already administering something through her IV, something to calm her down. They filed out into the hallway. Webb stood there with his officers, his perfect image fractured. He pointed at Cole. This isn't over. No, Cole agreed. It's not, because I'm not leaving. Not today, not tomorrow, not until Emma's safe. She is safe. With me. Keep telling yourself that, detective. Maybe you'll start to believe it. Webb stepped closer, voice dropping low enough that only Cole could hear. You have no idea what you're walking into. No idea who you're messing with. Back off while you still can. Cole leaned in, matching his whisper. Danny Morrison was my brother. He died saving lives while you were beating children. I've walked through hell, detective. You don't scare me. Webb's smile was ice. I should, because I'm going to destroy you. And when I'm done, no one will remember you as a hero. They'll remember you as the criminal who tried to kidnap a cop's daughter. Then let's let the judge decide. They stood there 6 inches apart, two men on opposite sides of a war neither would surrender. Finally, Webb stepped back. Enjoy the next few hours, Matthews. They're the last free ones you'll have. He walked away, his officers following. But Cole saw the tension in Webb's shoulders, the cracks in his armor. The detective was rattled, and rattled men made mistakes. Rebecca touched Cole's arm. We need to get downstairs. Judge Morrison moved up the hearing. It starts in 20 minutes. Cole checked his watch. 9:40 a.m. They'd been in the hospital less than an hour, and already the world had shifted on its axis. They headed for the elevator. As the doors closed, Marcus looked at Cole. You know he's going to come at you with everything right. Every mistake you've ever made, every bar fight, every questionable decision, he's going to paint you as a violent criminal. I know. And you know we might lose. Cole thought about Emma's small hand in his, her whisper. Promise, we're not losing. The elevator doors opened to chaos. The lobby was packed now, news crews with cameras, More police officers, hospital security trying to maintain control. And outside, visible through the glass doors, 67 Desert Reapers standing in formation. They'd drawn a crowd. People with phones filming reporters talking to riders, the visual impact of 67 motorcycles and the men and women who rode them. Cole saw Jenna giving an interview, her voice calm and clear, even from here. Big Mike stood with his arms crossed, mountain solid, watching everything. A reporter spotted Cole and rushed over, camera operator following. Mr. Matthews. Mr. Matthews, can you comment on allegations that you're attempting to kidnap Detective Webb's daughter? Marcus stepped in front of the camera. My client has no comment at this time beyond stating that we're here to ensure the safety of a child in danger. Is it true you're a member of a motorcycle gang? The Desert Reapers are a motorcycle club, not a gang. They're comprised of veterans, teachers, nurses, and working professionals. They're here as concerned citizens. Detective Webb says Mr. Matthews has a history of violence. Cole put his hand on Marcus's shoulder, stepped forward. I'm a veteran. I served 2 tours in Iraq. I've made mistakes and I've paid for them. But I've never hurt a child. I've never burned a 6-year-old with cigarettes. I've never broken a little girl's skull because she told a teacher what was happening to her. That's what Detective Webb did, and he's using his badge to get away with it. The reporter's eyes lit up. Marcus groaned. Cole. No. Cole looked directly into the camera. Everyone watching this needs to understand what's happening. A 6-year-old girl is upstairs right now, covered in burns and breaks and bruises. Her stepfather, a decorated police detective, did that to her. Her mother died 9 months ago in a convenient accident after discovering her husband's corruption. And now that stepfather is trying to take Emma home so he can finish what he started. We're here to stop him. That's the story. Those are serious allegations. They're facts. Go look at Emma's medical records. Count the cigarette burns. Look at the x-rays. Yes. Then ask yourself why a cop's word is worth more than a child's broken bones. Security pushed through. Mr. Matthews, you need to move to the courtroom. Judge Morrison is waiting. They headed down a hallway to a conference room that had been converted into a makeshift courtroom. Judge Sandra Morrison sat behind a folding table, her face stern and professional. She was in her late 50s, gray hair pulled back, eyes that missed nothing. Mr. Matthews, Mr. Chen, please approach. Cole walked forward with Marcus. On the other side of the room, Webb sat with his lawyer, a slick-looking man in an expensive suit. Webb's captain was there too, full uniform intimidation by authority. Judge Morrison surveyed the room. This is highly irregular. I don't typically conduct hearings in hospital conference rooms. But given the urgency and the circumstances, I'm making an exception. Mr. Chen, you filed an emergency custody petition on behalf of your client, Cole Matthews. On what grounds? Marcus stood. Your Honor, Emma Sullivan is in immediate danger. She's currently hospitalized with 3 skull fractures, a broken collarbone, 23 cigarette burns, and evidence of severe malnutrition and prolonged abuse. Her stepfather and current legal guardian, Detective Marcus Webb, is responsible for these injuries. Webb's lawyer, a man Marcus had whispered was named Davidson, stood. Your Honor, these allegations are outrageous. Detective Webb is a decorated officer with 15 years of exemplary service. Emma is a troubled child with a history of self-harm and behavioral issues. This incident was a tragic accident. Accident, Marcus interrupted. 23 cigarette burns is an accident. Order, Judge Morrison's voice was steel. Mr. Davidson, you'll have your turn. Mr. Chen, continue. Marcus pulled out his tablet. Your Honor, I have Dr. Samuel Harrison's medical report, which explicitly states these injuries are consistent with systematic abuse over an extended period. I have Emma's testimony recorded with CPS consent, describing how Detective Webb hurt her, how he hurt her mother, and how her mother died shortly after discovering Webb's criminal activities. Davidson jumped up. Objection hearsay from a traumatized 6-year-old is admissible in dependency hearings, Marcus countered, and corroborates the physical evidence, Your Honor. Emma explicitly stated that her mother was killed after discovering a secret phone and threatening to leave. Sarah Sullivan died 9 months ago in a single vehicle accident attributed to brake failure. I'd like to request that the court order a full investigation into that death. Judge Morrison's eyes narrowed. Mr. Davidson is the state investigating Mrs. Sullivan's death. Davidson shifted. The case was closed as accidental, Your Honor. There's no evidence of foul play. Except for a 6-year-old witness who says otherwise, Marcus said. And a detective with access to means and motive. Webb stood up, his face red. This is character assassination. I loved Sarah, I love Emma. These people are trying to destroy me because they don't like that I married into their military brotherhood. Sit down, Detective, Judge Morrison ordered. Mr. Matthews, I understand you were friends with Emma's biological father. Cole stood. Yes, Your Honor. Danny Sullivan and I served together in Iraq. He died saving 6 men, including me. His last words were asking me to watch over his wife and daughter. I promised I would. Yet you've had no contact with Emma for 4 years. Detective Webb made it clear I wasn't welcome. He filed harassment complaints, threatened legal action. I backed off. I thought Emma was safe with a police officer. I was wrong. Your Honor, I should have fought harder. I should have trusted my instincts. I failed Danny, and I failed Emma. I'm not failing her again. Judge Morrison studied him for a long moment. Mr. Matthews, I'm looking at your record. Multiple assault charges, though most were dropped or pleaded down. A DUI from 8 years ago. Bar fights. You're asking me to place a traumatized child in your custody, yet your history suggests violence and poor judgment. Cole's jaw tightened. Your Honor, I'm not perfect. I came back from Iraq with PTSD and anger issues. I made mistakes, but I dealt with them. Got therapy, got sober, stayed sober for 7 years. Every one of those assault charges was someone starting something I finished. I've never started a fight. I've never hurt anyone who didn't come at me first. And I've damn sure never hurt a child. Strong words, Mr. Matthews, but I need more than words. What makes you qualified to care for Emma? I've got a 3-bedroom house in Tucson paid off. Stable income from my mechanic shop. No debt, clean record for the past 6 years. I've already enrolled in parenting classes, spoken with child psychologists about trauma care. I've got a support network. He gestured to the door where his brothers waited. Of people who will help me give Emma everything she needs. A support network of motorcycle club members. A support network of teachers and nurses and veterans and working people who dropped everything at 3 in the morning to ride 300 miles for a little girl they've never met. That's who they are, Your Honor. Not criminals, not thugs, just people who believe children deserve protection. Judge Morrison turned to Webb. Detective Webb, do you want to respond? Webb stood, and when he spoke, his voice was measured, controlled. The perfect concerned parent. Your Honor, I love Emma like she's my own. This has been a nightmare. Emma has behavioral issues. We've been working with therapists, but she has episodes. Self-harm, destructive behavior. This incident was the result of one of those episodes. She fell down the stairs during an episode, and I rushed her to the hospital immediately. The cigarette burns, Judge Morrison asked. She'd been doing that to herself for months. Her therapist can confirm. We've been trying to get her help. Who's her therapist? Davidson passed forward a document. Dr. Richard Marsh, child psychologist. He's provided a statement confirming Emma's behavioral issues. Marcus took the paper, scanned it, and his face went hard. Your Honor, Dr. Marsh is currently under investigation by the State Medical Board for inappropriate relationships with patients and falsifying records. His license is suspended pending investigation. This statement isn't worth the paper it's printed on. Davidson's face flushed. That investigation is ongoing. No determination has been made. Because his records are so falsified that investigators can't figure out what's real, Marcus shot back. And coincidentally, Dr. Marsh is Webb's personal friend. They golf together. Their finances are intertwined. This isn't an independent evaluation. It's a cover-up. Judge Morrison looked at Webb. Detective, you had your stepdaughter seeing a therapist who's now under investigation for fraud. Webb's control cracked just slightly. I didn't know about the investigation. Richard is a respected professional. Whose license is suspended, Judge Morrison said flatly. She looked at the documents, at Cole, at Webb. I'm going to see Emma myself. Davidson stood quickly. Your Honor, Emma's in medical distress. which is why I'll speak to her doctor first. This hearing is in recess for 30 minutes. She stood and walked out, leaving them all there. Cole's heart hammered. 30 minutes. Everything would be decided in 30 minutes. Marcus touched his arm. That was good. You did good. We haven't won yet. No, but we cracked their narrative. Webb's mask is slipping. They walked back into the lobby. Outside, more news crews had arrived. The story was spreading: 68 bikers, a decorated cop, a 6-year-old caught in the middle. Some stations were already calling it a standoff. Jenna met them at the door. How'd it go? Judge is talking to Emma. We'll know in half an hour. The riders are getting attention. Good attention. People are asking questions, hearing our side. Social media's blowing up with support. Cole nodded, but he couldn't feel relief. Not yet. Not until Emma was safe. His phone buzzed. Pops. I've got something. Check your email. Cole pulled out his phone, opened his email. Pops had sent financial records, bank transfers, dates, amounts. What am I looking at? Webb's banking records for the past 3 years. See those regular deposits? 2,000 here, 3,000 there. Always in cash, always just under the reporting threshold. Over 3 years, that's $80,000. That can't be explained by his salary. Where'd it come from? That's the question. And look at the dates. 3 major deposits came right after big drug busts that Webb worked. The timing's too convenient to be coincidence. Can you prove he was skimming? Not yet, but I've got FBI contacts looking at it. If there's evidence, they'll find it. Cole closed his eyes. How long? Could be days, could be weeks. But Cole, if they build a case, Webb's looking at federal time. Which means he's desperate, which means he's dangerous. Exactly. Watch your back. Cole hung up, relayed the information to Marcus. We need to tell the judge. It's not evidence yet, it's suspicion. She won't rule based on that. Then what do we do? Marcus was quiet for a moment. We trust that Emma's voice is enough. 20 minutes later, Judge Morrison returned. Her face was unreadable. Everyone filed back into the makeshift courtroom. I've spoken with Emma, Judge Morrison said, and with Dr. Harrison. I've reviewed the medical records and photographs of Emma's injuries. She paused. This is one of the most disturbing cases I've seen in 20 years on the bench. Webb's lawyer stood. Your Honor. Sit down, Mr. Davidson. I'm not finished. She turned to Webb. Detective Webb, Emma is terrified of you. When I asked her about her injuries, she described in detail how you hurt her. A 6-year-old doesn't have the capacity to fabricate that level of consistent detail about systematic abuse. She's been coached. By whom she hasn't had contact with anyone but medical staff and CPS since admission. Are you suggesting hospital staff coached her? Judge Morrison's voice was ice. I'm granting emergency custody to CPS immediately. Emma will not be returning to your home pending a full investigation. Your Honor, I demand... You demand nothing, Detective. Based on Emma's testimony, I'm ordering a full investigation into your activities, including the death of Sarah Sullivan. And I'm issuing a protective order. You are to have no contact with Emma, no calls, no visits, no third-party contact. Violation will result in immediate arrest. Cole's knees almost buckled with relief. Emma was safe. For now. As for permanent custody, Judge Morrison continued, that requires more time. Mr. Matthews, I'm not ready to place Emma in your custody permanently, but I'm ordering CPS to conduct a full home study and I'm scheduling a full custody hearing for 3 weeks from now. In the meantime, Emma will remain in foster care. Your Honor. Marcus stood. May we request that Mr. Matthews be granted supervised visitation? Emma has formed an attachment to him, and separating them now could cause additional trauma. Judge Morrison considered. Supervised visitation 4 hours per week with CPS supervision. Mr. Matthews, I'm trusting you to put Emma's needs first. I will, Your Honor. And Mr. Matthews, the next 3 weeks will determine Emma's future. I suggest you use them wisely. Yes, Your Honor. The gavel came down. Cole stood there shaking. They'd won. Not everything, not permanently, but enough. Emma wouldn't go home with Webb tonight. She wouldn't go home with him ever again. They walked out into the lobby. The Desert Reapers saw Cole's face and erupted in cheers. But Cole held up his hand, quieting them. "We're not done yet. We've got 3 weeks to prove I can be what Emma needs. 3 weeks to build a case. This is just the beginning." Outside, Webb pushed past reporters, his face twisted with rage. He stopped when he saw Cole, their eyes meeting across the parking lot. Webb's voice carried. "This isn't over. Not by a long shot." Cole met his stare steady and unflinching. "No, it's not. But you're not getting her back. I'm keeping my promise, detective. Whatever it takes." Webb climbed into his car and peeled out. Cole watched him go, feeling the weight of what was coming. Webb was cornered, now dangerous. A man with everything to lose and the skills to make people disappear. But Cole had something Webb didn't. He had brothers, he had family, and he had a promise to keep. The war was just beginning. The Desert Reapers didn't leave. Cole had expected maybe half of them to head back to Tucson after the hearing jobs and families calling them home. Instead, all 67 stayed. They set up camp in the hospital parking lot, rotating shifts so someone was always awake, always watching. "We're not leaving her unprotected," Jenna said, when Cole tried to tell them to go home. Webb's desperate now. Desperate men do desperate things. She was right. Cole felt it in his bones, that crawling sensation that came from years of combat, telling him danger was close. Webb had lost control of the narrative, lost custody, lost his carefully constructed image. Men like that didn't just surrender. Cole spent that first night in Emma's hospital room, sitting in the uncomfortable chair beside her bed while she slept. Every sound made him tense. Every footstep in the hallway had his hand moving toward his belt. Rebecca Torres had arranged it with Dr. Harrison, bending rules that probably shouldn't be bent. But nobody wanted Emma alone. Around 2 a.m., Emma woke up crying, soft whimpers that broke Cole's heart. He moved to her bedside, keeping his voice gentle. "Hey, kiddo, it's okay. You're safe." Emma's eyes were wide in the dim light. "I had a bad dream. Want to talk about it?" She shook her head, then whispered, "Is Daddy Marcus coming back?" "No, sweetheart. The judge said he can't come near you, ever." "Promise." "I promise. And I've got friends outside making sure. You remember I told you about the 68 people who came? They're still here. They're not leaving until you're somewhere safe." Emma's small fingers picked at her blanket. "Uncle Cole, why did Daddy Marcus hurt me?" The question gutted him. How do you explain evil to a 6-year-old? How do you tell her that some people are broken in ways that can't be fixed? "I don't know, Emma. Sometimes grown-ups do bad things, and it's not because of anything you did. It's because something's wrong inside them. Mommy said he was sick. She said his brain was sick, and that's why he got so angry." Cole's throat tightened. "Your mommy tried to protect you, didn't she?" Emma nodded, tears sliding down her cheeks. "She said we were going to leave. She packed bags and hid them in the garage. She said when I got home from school one day, we'd drive away and never come back. But then her car broke." "Emma, did your mommy drive her car the day it broke?" "No. Daddy Marcus said he fixed something. He was under the car in the morning. Then Mommy drove to work, and the policeman came to school and said Mommy was in heaven." Cole forced himself to breathe normally, to not let Emma see the rage boiling in his chest. Webb had murdered his wife and made a 6-year-old watch the aftermath. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart." "Is Mommy really in heaven?" "Yeah, I think she is. And I think she's watching over you right now, making sure you're okay." Emma was quiet for a moment. "Can you check the closet?" "The closet. Sometimes Daddy Marcus hides in the closet to see if I'm being good. Can you check?" Cole stood, walked to the closet, opened it wide. Empty, except for a few hospital gowns. "Nothing there. Want me to leave it open?" "Yes, please." He left it open, returned to her bedside. Emma reached out and took his hand, her grip surprisingly strong for such a small person. "Uncle Cole, are you going to be my new daddy?" The question hit him harder than any punch he'd ever taken. "I don't know yet, Emma. The judge has to decide if I'm good enough to take care of you. But whether I'm your daddy or not, I'm going to be here. That's a promise." "What if you're not good enough?" "Then I'll work harder until I am." "What if they make me go live with someone else? Cole knelt beside the bed so he could look her in the eye. Then I'll visit you every chance I get. I'll call you. I'll write you letters. I'll be whatever you need me to be. You're not getting rid of me, kiddo. I'm here for the long haul. Emma studied his face with those two old eyes. My daddy Danny, did he look like you? Not really. He was shorter, had lighter hair, but we both had the same job protecting people. And we both loved you, even though I didn't know you yet. How can you love someone you don't know? Because your daddy loved you so much that it spilled over. He made me promise to watch over you, which meant you were already part of my family. I just didn't know it yet. Emma's grip on his hand loosened as sleep pulled at her. I'm glad you came, Uncle Cole. Me too, sweetheart. Me too. She drifted off. Cole stayed there holding her hand, watching the monitors count her heartbeats. This tiny broken girl who'd survived hell and was still capable of trust. She deserved so much better than what life had given her. His phone buzzed. Marcus texting instead of calling so he wouldn't wake Emma. News crews outside. Stories going national. Good for our side, bad for Webb's. Cole texted back. How bad? CNN picked it up. Decorated cop accused of child abuse, bikers come to rescue. It's the narrative Webb can't fight. He'll try. Oh, he's already trying. His union held a press conference an hour ago. Said you're a violent criminal with a vendetta, that you're using a troubled child as a weapon against law enforcement. They're painting this as an attack on police. Of course they are. But here's the thing, Cole. Emma's injuries are public record now. Anyone can request them. And those photos don't lie. Webb can spin all he wants, but 3 skull fractures and 23 cigarette burns tell their own story. Cole looked at Emma's sleeping face, at the bandages covering her arms. Keep pushing the medical evidence. That's what wins this. Already on it. Dr. Harrison's giving interviews tomorrow morning. He's not holding back. Good man. Get some sleep, brother. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. Cole didn't sleep. He sat in that chair, watching Emma breathe, listening to the hospital sounds, waiting for dawn. Around 5 a.m., Jenna relieved him. She'd brought coffee and breakfast burritos from a 24-hour place down the street. You look like hell, she said. Feel worse. He took the coffee gratefully. She woke up around 2. Asked me to check the closet because Webb used to hide there to spy on her. Jenna's face went hard. Jesus. The more I learn about what he did to her, the harder it gets not to go find him and finish this the old way. That's exactly what he wants. You assault him, you lose Emma. You know that. I know. Doesn't make it easier. Nothing about this is easy, but you're doing it right. You're keeping your head, following the process, putting Emma first. That's what matters. Cole drained half the coffee. Marcus says Webb's union is coming after me. Let them. We've got truth on our side, and we've got something else. She pulled out her phone, showed him social media feeds. Thousands of comments, shares, posts supporting Emma. Stories from other abuse survivors thanking the Desert Reapers for standing up. Donations pouring into abuse prevention charities. People are watching Cole. The whole country is watching. Webb can't make this disappear. He can make Emma disappear. Jenna's eyes met his. That's why we're not leaving. That's why we've got riders on rotation. He tries anything, he's going through 68 of us first. Dr. Harrison appeared in the doorway. Mr. Matthews, Ms. Rodriguez, we need to talk. They stepped into the hallway. Harrison looked exhausted, like he'd been up all night. I've been consulting with colleagues about Emma's case. The pattern of injuries suggests systematic torture over at least 8 months, possibly longer. The healed fractures we found on X-ray indicate this has been ongoing since shortly after her mother's death. How bad is the long-term damage? Cole asked. Physically, she'll heal. The skull fractures are serious, but not life-threatening. The malnutrition is severe. It's affected her growth and development. She's in the first percentile for height and weight for her age. With proper nutrition and care, she should catch up. And mentally, Harrison's expression darkened. That's going to be harder. Emma has all the signs of complex PTSD. Hypervigilance, trust issues, dissociation. She'll need intensive therapy probably for years. And there's something else. He paused. Emma told one of our psych nurses that Webb filmed the abuse. She said he had cameras hidden in her room in the bathroom. He showed her the footage and told her if she ever told anyone, he'd show the videos and say she was lying, that she hurt herself. Cole's hands clenched into fists. We need those videos. If they exist, they're evidence. I've already reported it to CPS and the police. The police that are Webb's brothers in blue, they'll destroy that evidence. Not if we make enough noise that they can't. I'm doing interviews this morning with every news outlet that'll have me. I'm making sure Emma's story gets told. Thank you, Cole said quietly. For standing up. For not backing down when Webb and his captain came at you. I'm a doctor. My job is to protect my patients. Emma needed protection from the man who was supposed to love her. I wasn't going to let that slide. Harrison left. Cole returned to Emma's room where Jenna was talking softly to Emma, who'd woken up. Emma's face lit up when she saw Cole. Uncle Cole, Aunt Jenna says I can have pancakes for breakfast. The word aunt hit Cole right in the chest. Emma had already adopted them, already made them family in her mind. That sounds great, kiddo. A hospital social worker appeared, a young woman named Rachel, who looked barely out of college. Mr. Matthews, I need to discuss Emma's placement. They stepped outside again. Rachel pulled out paperwork. CPS has found a foster home for Emma. The Johnsons experienced foster parents with a good track record. They're expecting her this afternoon. This afternoon, she just got out of ICU yesterday. Dr. Harrison's cleared her medically, and the sooner we get her into a stable environment, the better for her recovery. She's stable here. She's got people who care about her here. Rachel's voice was kind but firm. Mr. Matthews, I understand you've formed an attachment to Emma, but you're not her guardian yet. The Johnsons are trained for trauma care. They'll give her what she needs. What she needs is to not be moved around like furniture. She's been through hell. Let her stay somewhere familiar a little longer. I'm sorry, but the decision's been made. Emma will be released to foster care at 2 p.m. You can visit according to the court's schedule 4 hours per week, supervised. Cole wanted to argue to fight, but he knew it wouldn't help. The system had its rules, and breaking them would only hurt his custody case. Can I be there when she's told? Can I help her understand? Rachel hesitated, then nodded. That would probably be good for her. At noon, Cole sat with Emma while Rachel explained what was happening. Emma's face crumpled. I don't want to go with strangers. I want to stay with you. I know, sweetheart. But the Johnsons are really nice people who know how to help kids who've been hurt. You'll have your own room, your own toys, and I'll come visit you as much as they let me. Promise. On your daddy's grave. I promise. What if Daddy Marcus finds me there? He won't. The judge said he can't come near you, and if he tries, he goes to jail. Emma wrapped her arms around Cole's waist, held on tight. I don't want to go. I know, but you're brave, Emma. Braver than any 6-year-old I've ever met. You can do this. Will you come tomorrow? If they let me, yeah. What if they don't let you? Then I'll call you, or write you letters. You're not getting rid of me, remember. The Johnsons arrived at 2. Mark and Sarah Johnson, mid-50s. The kind of people who looked like they baked cookies and read bedtime stories. They were gentle with Emma, patient when she clung to Cole and refused to let go. It's okay, Sarah Johnson said softly. You can bring your friend to the car if you want. Say goodbye there. They walked through the hospital together, Emma's small hand in Cole's, the Johnsons walking ahead to give them space. Outside, the Desert Reapers were still there. When Emma saw them, her eyes went wide. Are those all your friends? Every single one. Big Mike stepped forward, knelt down to Emma's level. Hey there, little miss. I'm Mike. I teach high school English, and I just want you to know that all of us here were rooting for you. You're part of our family now. Emma looked at all the riders, at their leather vests and worn faces and kind eyes. All of you came for me. All of us, Jenna said, and we're staying until we know you're safe and happy. Emma's lip trembled. Thank you. One by one, the riders came forward. Pops gave her a stuffed bear he'd bought at the hospital gift shop. Maria, the club's child psychologist, gave her a journal and told her she could draw in it whenever she felt scared. Tommy gave her a bracelet his daughter had made, small beads spelling out, brave. By the time Emma got in the Johnsons' car, she was crying but smiling too. She pressed her hand against the window as they drove away, and Cole pressed his hand against the air in return, watching until the car disappeared. Jenna touched his shoulder. "You did good, Reaper." "Doesn't feel good." "It never does. But she knows she's loved now. That's more than she had yesterday." Cole's phone rang. "Pops. We've got a problem." "What now?" Webb's lawyer just filed an emergency motion to dismiss the protective order. Claims it's unconstitutional, violates Webb's parental rights. They got a hearing scheduled for tomorrow morning. Can they do that? They can try. Marcus is already filing counter motions, but Cole, this is bad. If they get that protective order lifted, Webb can go after Emma again. Over my dead body. That might be exactly what he's planning. I've been digging deeper into Webb's connections. He's not just dirty. He's connected to some seriously dangerous people. Phoenix PD's narcotics unit has been under federal investigation for 2 years. Webb's right in the middle of it. What are they looking at? Drug trafficking, money laundering, evidence tampering. The FBI thinks they're working with the Sinaloa cartel, providing protection in exchange for cash. Sarah Sullivan worked in banking. If she discovered Webb's accounts, she didn't just threaten his marriage. She threatened to expose a multi-million-dollar operation. Cole's blood went cold. They killed her. I think so. And Emma's the only witness. That's why Webb's been trying to break her to make sure nobody believes her if she talks. Jesus. Does the FBI know about Emma? I'm meeting with them tomorrow. But Cole, here's the thing. If Webb's part of a cartel operation, he's got resources. Money, connections, people who'll do anything to keep this quiet. You need to be careful. What about Emma? If Webb's connected to cartels? The Johnsons' address is confidential, but nothing's foolproof. That's why you need to stay smart. Webb comes at you, he's betting you'll react with violence. Don't give him that. Cole hung up, relayed the information to the core group. Marcus, Jenna, Big Mike, and a few others gathered around. Cartel connections change everything, Marcus said. This isn't just child abuse anymore. This is organized crime, witness intimidation, murder for hire. We're way out of our depth. So what do we do? Jenna asked. We let the FBI handle Webb's criminal enterprise. We focus on keeping Emma safe and winning custody. And if Webb decides to eliminate the witness, Big Mike's voice was grim, then we make sure he can't get to her. Cole's phone buzzed again. Unknown number. He answered cautiously. Yeah. Mr. Matthews. This is Special Agent Sarah Chen, FBI Phoenix Field Office. I understand you've been asking questions about Detective Webb. Word travels fast. In cases like this, it does. I'd like to meet with you. We need to talk about Emma Sullivan and what she might know about her stepfather's activities. When? Tomorrow, 9 a.m., Federal Building downtown. Come alone. I'm bringing my lawyer. That's your right. But Mr. Matthews, you need to understand something. If Emma Sullivan has information about cartel operations, she's not just an abuse victim. She's a federal witness, and that changes everything about her safety and her future. The call ended. Cole stared at his phone, his mind racing. Federal witness. Emma was 6 years old, and the FBI wanted to use her testimony against cartel operators. The system that should have protected her was going to put a target on her back. This keeps getting worse, he said to the group. Or better, Marcus countered. If the FBI's involved, they've got resources we don't. Protection safe houses, witness security. You want to put Emma in witness protection. Make her disappear. I want her alive. If Webb's connected to cartels, and Emma can testify against him, she's in more danger than we thought. That night, Cole couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Emma pressing her hand against the car window, about her asking him to check closets for monsters, about her weighing 32 pounds because Webb starved her to keep her weak. Around 3 a.m., his phone rang. Mark Johnson. Mr. Matthews, I'm sorry to call so late. Emma's having nightmares, bad ones. She's asking for you. Cole was on his feet instantly. I'm coming. The address is confidential. I don't care. That little girl needs me. Either you give me the address or I start calling every Johnson in Phoenix until I find you. Silence. Then Mark gave him the address. We're in Scottsdale, 30 minutes from the hospital. Cole grabbed his keys, but Jenna blocked the door. You're not going alone. It's 3 in the morning. Which is exactly when Webb might try something. You're not going alone. 10 riders mounted up Cole in the lead. They rode through the dark Phoenix streets, engines rumbling a convoy of protection. The Johnsons' house was a modest ranch in a quiet neighborhood. Every light was on when they arrived. Cole knocked quietly. Mark opened the door looking exhausted. She's in the back bedroom. She won't calm down. Cole walked through the house. Emma's screams echoed down the hallway, high-pitched and terrified. Sarah Johnson sat beside the bed trying to comfort her, but Emma was lost in whatever nightmare had her in its grip. "Emma!" Cole's voice cut through the screaming. "Emma, it's Uncle Cole. I'm here." Emma's eyes flew open, wild and unfocused. Then she saw him and launched herself off the bed, grabbing onto him like he was the only solid thing in a drowning world. "He was here. He was in my closet. He said he was coming for me." "It was a dream, sweetheart. Just a dream." "No, he was here. I saw him." Cole looked at Mark and Sarah. "Check the house. Check every closet, every window, every door. Mr. Matthews, I assure you. Check, now." Mark left. Cole sat on the bed with Emma in his lap, rocking her gently. "I brought friends. They're outside. Nobody's getting past them to hurt you." "Promise?" "I promise. And I'm going to stay here tonight. Right here in this room. I'll check the closet as many times as you need." Sarah brought water and a cool cloth for Emma's face. "She's been asking for you since we got here. Every few minutes. When is Uncle Cole coming? We didn't want to bother you." "It's not a bother. She needs me. That's all that matters." Mark returned. "House is clear. All windows locked. All doors secured." "Check the closet." Mark opened the closet. Empty. But Emma still trembled in Cole's arms. "He was there. I saw his eyes. Even if he was, which he wasn't, he's gone now. And I'm here. And I'm not leaving." Cole spent the night in a chair beside Emma's bed, her hand holding his. She drifted in and out of sleep, jerking awake every hour or so to make sure he was still there. Each time he was. Each time she'd relax again, trusting that he meant what he said. At dawn, Sarah brought coffee. "Thank you for coming. I know we're strangers to her and she needs familiar faces right now. You're doing a good job. She's just scared." "Mr. Matthews, can I be honest with you?" "Yeah. Oh, Emma's going to need more than foster care can provide. The trauma she's experienced, the nightmares, the hypervigilance, she needs someone permanent. Someone she trusts, absolutely. She's already attached to you. Fighting that attachment to place her with strangers who meet clinical criteria doesn't serve her best interests." "You saying you think I should get custody?" "I'm saying Emma's already chosen who she feels safe with. The system should respect that." At 8:30, Marcus called. "FBI meeting in 30 minutes. You coming?" Cole looked at Emma, finally sleeping peacefully. "Yeah, but I need someone here with her." "Already handled. Jenna's heading over now." The federal building was all concrete and glass, imposing and cold. Marcus met Cole at the entrance with 2 coffees and a folder full of documents. "Let me do most of the talking. FBI plays by different rules." Special Agent Sarah Chen was younger than Cole expected, mid-30s, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. She led them to a conference room where another agent waited, a man who introduced himself as Special Agent Tom Rodriguez. "Mr. Matthews, thank you for coming," Chen said. "We've been investigating Detective Marcus Webb and several other Phoenix PD officers for 2 years. Your custody case has created an opportunity we've been waiting for." An opportunity. Emma Sullivan is potentially a key witness. If she saw or heard things related to Webb's criminal activities, her testimony could help us dismantle a significant cartel operation. She's 6 years old. I'm aware. But 6-year-olds see things adults miss. They hear conversations, notice patterns. Emma lived with Webb for 3 years. She may have information she doesn't even realize is important. Marcus leaned forward. "What exactly are you investigating?" Rodriguez pulled out photos. "Phoenix PD's narcotics unit has been working with Sinaloa cartel operators, providing protection for drug shipments, tampering with evidence, eliminating witnesses. We've identified 12 officers involved, including Webb. They've made millions over the past 5 years." And Sarah Sullivan found out. Cole said. We think so. Sarah worked at Desert Valley Bank where several of these officers had accounts. If she noticed irregular deposits and started asking questions that made her a threat. You think they killed her? We know they killed her. We have wiretap evidence of Webb discussing the wife problem with another officer 2 weeks before Sarah's death. The day before the accident, Webb purchased brake fluid from an auto parts store. His credit card records show it. The next day, Sarah's brakes failed. Cole's hands clenched. You have evidence he murdered her and you haven't arrested him. We need more than circumstantial evidence. We need witness testimony, direct evidence linking Webb to the murder. That's where Emma comes in. Absolutely not. Cole stood. You're not using a 6-year-old as bait to catch dirty cops. Mr. Matthews, please sit down. No. Emma's been through hell. She's got PTSD and nightmares, and she weighs 32 pounds because Webb starved her. I'm not letting you traumatize her more by making her testify against cartel operators. Chen's voice stayed calm. We're not asking Emma to testify now, but eventually when she's older and healthier, her testimony could be crucial. And Mr. Matthews, whether you cooperate or not, Emma's in danger. Webb knows she's a threat. The cartel knows she's a threat. They will try to eliminate her. Then you protect her. We can. Witness protection, new identities, relocation. But that requires cooperation from her guardian. From you, if you win custody. The weight of it hit Cole like a truck. To keep Emma safe, he might have to let the FBI turn her into a witness. To protect her, he might have to take her away from everything familiar and make her disappear into a new life. What are you asking me to do? Win custody, keep Emma safe. And when the time is right, help us prepare her to testify about what she saw in Webb's house. Conversations she overheard, people who visited, anything that could help us build our case. And if I say no, then Emma remains in foster care where our ability to protect her is limited. And Webb's cartel friends will keep trying to reach her until they succeed. Marcus touched Cole's arm. We need to think about this. There's nothing to think about. I'm not turning Emma into a federal witness. She's a kid, not a tool. Rodriguez spoke for the first time. Mr. Matthews, I respect your position, but you need to understand reality. Webb's already tried to kill Emma once. If we don't put him away permanently, he'll try again. And next time, he might succeed. Is protecting Emma from testifying more important than keeping her alive? The question hung in the air. Cole wanted to punch something to rage against a system that put a 6-year-old in this position. But Rodriguez was right. Dead Emma couldn't be protected from trauma. Living Emma could heal, could grow up, could have a life. What kind of protection are we talking about? Cole asked slowly. Full witness security if needed. Safe houses, identity changes, relocation. But that's worst case scenario. Best case, we arrest Webb and his partners before they can reach Emma. Either way, she's protected. I need guarantees. We can't guarantee anything, Mr. Matthews, but we can promise we'll use every resource we have to keep her safe. Cole looked at Marcus. What do you think? I think we don't have a choice. If Emma's life is in danger, we do whatever it takes to protect her, even if that means cooperating with the FBI. Cole turned back to Chen. I need to talk to Emma first. I'm not making decisions about her life without her input. She's 6. I don't care. She gets a say in what happens to her. That's non-negotiable. Chen studied him for a long moment. All right, talk to her. But Mr. Matthews' time's not on our side. Webb's legal team is already pushing hard to regain access to Emma. If they succeed, if that protective order gets lifted, she's vulnerable. When's the hearing on that? Tomorrow afternoon. Judge Morrison's hearing arguments about whether the order violates Webb's constitutional rights. That's insane. He beat her. He's got 14 character witnesses testifying he's a devoted father and Emma's accusations are false. His union's backing him hard. They're painting this as persecution of law enforcement. What do we counter with medical evidence, Emma's testimony, and hopefully, if you cooperate, evidence of Webb's criminal enterprise? The cartel connections make him dangerous, which supports keeping the protective order in place. Marcus made notes. We'll need Dr. Harrison to testify again, and I want to subpoena Webb's financial records show the unexplained cash deposits. We can help with that, Rodriguez said. in exchange for cooperation on the witness protection angle. Cole hated everything about this, but he couldn't see another way forward. Fine, I'll talk to Emma. But if she says no, if she's not ready, we find another way. Agreed. They left the federal building. Outside, Cole breathed in the hot Phoenix air, trying to clear his head. This is insane. It's the situation we're in, Marcus said. We deal with it, or Emma dies. Those are the choices. She's 6 years old, Marcus. 6. And we're talking about turning her into a federal witness against cartel operators. That's not dealing with it. That's destroying whatever childhood she has left. She doesn't have a childhood left. Webb already destroyed it. Now we're just trying to keep her alive. Cole's phone buzzed. Jenna. Cole, you need to get back here. Emma's asking for you. She's scared about something and she won't tell us what. On my way. They rode back to the Johnsons' house. Emma was sitting on the couch clutching the stuffed bear Pops had given her. When she saw Cole, she ran to him. Uncle Cole, I remembered something. Cole knelt down. What did you remember, sweetheart? The night Mommy died. Daddy Marcus was on the phone. He was talking to someone about Mommy. He said she knows too much, and we have to handle it. I heard him, Uncle Cole. I was supposed to be asleep, but I heard him. Cole's heart stopped. Emma, this is really important. Do you remember anything else? Did he say who he was talking to? He called him Carlos. He said, Carlos, we've got a problem. And then he talked about Mommy. Cole looked at Marcus. We need to tell the FBI. Already texting them. Emma's small hand grabbed Cole's shirt. Did I do something bad? Am I in trouble? No, baby. You did something brave. You remembered something important that's going to help keep you safe. But Daddy Marcus said telling secrets gets people hurt. Daddy Marcus was lying. Telling the truth, telling people when something bad happens, that's what keeps people safe. You're not in trouble. You did the right thing. Emma buried her face in Cole's chest. I don't want to be brave anymore. I just want to be regular. Cole held her tight, his heart breaking for this little girl who just wanted normalcy and safety, and all the things every child deserved. I know, sweetheart, I know, but you're so strong, and I'm so proud of you. His phone rang. Chen. Mr. Matthews, Emma's testimony about the phone call is exactly what we needed. With that, we can move forward with arrests. We're executing warrants tonight. Tonight. We can't wait. If Webb suspects Emma's talking, he'll run or he'll come for her. We're bringing him in along with 6 other officers. This ends tonight. Cole looked at Emma in his arms. Keep her safe. That's the plan. I'm sending 2 agents to the Johnsons' house right now. Nobody gets in or out without clearance. The line went dead. Cole looked around the room at Jenna, Marcus, the Johnsons, and Emma. Everything was about to change. Webb's arrest would make the news, would blow up social media, would put Emma even more in the spotlight. What's happening? Emma asked. Something good, sweetheart. The bad people who hurt you are going to be arrested. They're going to jail. All of them. All of them. Including Daddy Marcus. Especially Daddy Marcus. Emma's grip on his shirt tightened. What if he gets out? What if he comes for me? Cole tilted her chin up so she could see his eyes, see the absolute truth in them. He won't. But if he tries, he's got to go through me and all my friends. And sweetheart, we don't lose. Emma searched his face, looking for lies, for false promises. Whatever she saw there made her nod slowly. Okay, I believe you. Good. Because I need you to do something for me. I need you to be strong a little while longer. Can you do that? How much longer? Just until the bad people are locked up and can't hurt anyone anymore. A few days, maybe a week, and I'll be here the whole time, I promise. Emma nodded again. Outside, 2 black SUVs pulled up. Federal agents coming to turn a 6-year-old safe house into a fortress. Cole watched them take positions, watched them check windows and doors and sightlines. The war was escalating, and Emma, this brave, broken little girl, was right in the center of it. The arrests happened at 11 p.m. Cole was sitting in the Johnsons' living room when his phone lit up with news alerts. 7 Phoenix PD officers taken into custody simultaneously coordinated raids across the city. Detective Marcus Webb arrested at his home without incident. 6 others pulled from their houses in handcuffs while news cameras rolled. Cole's phone rang immediately. Marcus. Turn on the TV, channel 12. Cole grabbed the remote. The news showed Webb being walked out of his house in handcuffs, his face twisted with rage. Behind him, FBI agents carried boxes of evidence. The reporter's voice was breathless with excitement. In a stunning development, 7 Phoenix police officers, including decorated Detective Marcus Webb, have been arrested on federal charges including drug trafficking, evidence tampering, and conspiracy. Sources say this is connected to the ongoing investigation into Phoenix PD's narcotics division and its alleged ties to Mexican drug cartels. Emma appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. What's happening? Cole muted the TV before she could see Webb's face. The police arrested the bad people, sweetheart. They can't hurt anyone anymore. Daddy Marcus, too. Especially him. Emma padded across the room and climbed into Cole's lap, watching the muted television where agents moved in and out of Webb's house. That's our house. That's where Mommy died. I know. Are they looking for clues? Yeah, they are. I hope they find Mommy's bags, the ones she packed to leave. She hid them in the garage behind the paint cans. Cole's heart stuttered. Emma, did you tell anyone about those bags? No. Daddy Marcus said if I told anyone Mommy was leaving, bad things would happen to me. So I didn't tell. Cole texted Chen immediately. Emma says Sarah packed bags to leave, hid them in garage behind paint cans. Could be evidence. The response came 30 seconds later. Already found them. Packed clothes, documents, flash drive. Potentially huge. Thanks. Sarah Johnson brought hot chocolate for Emma. Sweetie, it's late. You should try to sleep. Can Uncle Cole stay again? Sarah looked at Cole. If he doesn't mind. I don't mind. Cole carried Emma back to her room, tucked her in, checked the closet like she needed him to. Emma's small voice was barely a whisper. Uncle Cole, what happens now? Now the police investigate. They'll look at all the evidence, and then there'll be a trial where Daddy Marcus has to answer for what he did. Will I have to see him? Cole's jaw tightened. I don't know yet, sweetheart. Maybe. But if you do, I'll be right there with you. And he can't hurt you anymore. He's in jail. Can people get out of jail? Not usually. And definitely not when they've done things as bad as what he did. Emma was quiet for a long moment. Uncle Cole, do you think my daddy Danny would be proud of me? The question gutted him. Emma, your daddy would be so proud of you he'd burst. You're the bravest person I know. Really. Really. You survived things that would break grown-ups. You told the truth, even when you were scared. You're a warrior just like your daddy. Emma's eyes filled with tears. I miss him. I don't remember him much, but I miss him. He loved you more than anything in the world. That's what I remember most about him. How much he talked about you, how he carried your picture everywhere. You were his whole world. Tell me a story about him. Cole settled into the chair beside her bed. Your daddy was the best card player I ever met. He could bluff anyone, read people like books. One time we were playing poker in our tent in Iraq and this new lieutenant joined the game. Real cocky, thought he was hot stuff. Your daddy took every dollar that lieutenant had, and at the end he showed his cards. He'd been bluffing the entire time. Didn't have anything. The lieutenant was so mad, but your daddy just laughed and said, "Never assume you know what someone's holding." Emma smiled, small but real. Did he win a lot? Always. He said winning at cards was about patience and knowing when to go all in. He taught me that sometimes you've got to risk everything on the hand you're holding, trust that it's enough. Is that what you're doing now? Going all in? Cole looked at this 6-year-old with the wisdom of someone 3 times her age. Yes, sweetheart. That's exactly what I'm doing. Emma's eyes started to drift closed. Uncle Cole, when this is all over, when the bad people are in jail and everything's safe, will you teach me how to play cards? I promise. But I'm warning you, if you're half as good as your daddy, I'm going to lose a lot of money. She giggled, the sound so pure and innocent it made Cole's chest ache. Good. He sat there watching her sleep until his phone buzzed. Chen. Need to talk. 5 minutes. Cole stepped out onto the back patio where the federal agents couldn't overhear. What's going on? The flash drive Sarah hid in those bags. It's everything. Bank records, wire transfers, recorded conversations. Sarah was documenting Webb's operation for months. She knew about the cartel connections, the money laundering, all of it. She was building a case. Did she go to the police? She tried. She called Internal Affairs 3 weeks before she died. The officer she spoke to was Lieutenant David Morrison, one of the men we arrested tonight. He's Webb's partner. Sarah called asking to report corruption, and Morrison told Webb immediately. That's when they decided she had to go. Cole's hands clenched into fists. She tried to do the right thing, and they killed her for it. Yes. And Emma's testimony about the phone call combined with this evidence gives us enough to charge Webb with first-degree murder. He's not getting out Cole. Not ever. What about the custody hearing? Does this change anything? It changes everything. Webb's not fighting for custody anymore. He's fighting for his life. The protective order's permanent now. He can't get near Emma. What about his cartel friends if they think Emma's a threat? We arrested the primary players tonight. The ones still out there are going to be too busy covering their own tracks to worry about a 6-year-old. But we're keeping the security detail until we're certain. Cole let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. So, Emma's safe. As safe as we can make her. But Cole, there's something else. The permanent custody hearing is in 2 weeks. Judge Morrison's moved it up because of the circumstances. You need to be ready. I'm ready. Are you? Because Webb's lawyer is going to argue that Emma should be placed with her maternal grandparents, not you. They're filing for custody too. Cole's stomach dropped. What? Frank and Diane Sullivan, Sarah's parents. They're Emma's biological grandparents. They have a legitimate claim. They never fought for her when Webb had her. Where were they when Emma was being beaten? That's going to be your lawyer's job to argue. But Cole grandparents have legal standing. This fight just got harder. The call ended. Cole stood on the patio, breathing hard, trying to process. He'd been so focused on stopping Webb, he hadn't thought about other family members coming forward. Frank and Diane Sullivan were Danny's in-laws, people Cole had met exactly twice at Danny's funeral and Sarah's wedding. They'd seemed nice enough, but they'd never reached out after Sarah married Webb. Never questioned why they weren't seeing Emma anymore. His phone rang again. Marcus. You heard? Yeah, what are our chances? Honestly, 50-50. Grandparents have a strong case. They're biological family, they're stable, they've got resources. You're a single man with a biker lifestyle and a record. On paper, they look better. But Emma wants me. Emma's 6. Courts don't always prioritize what kids want over what looks best on paper. We need to build an airtight case. Show that you've prepared, that you've got support systems, that you can provide everything Emma needs. I can. I have been. Then we prove it. I'm setting up home visits, getting character witnesses, documenting everything. But Cole, be prepared for this to get ugly. The Sullivan's lawyer is going to attack everything about you. Cole went back inside. Emma was still sleeping peaceful for the first time since he'd met her. He couldn't lose her. Not after everything they'd been through. The next morning, Cole's phone rang at 6 a.m. An unknown number. He answered warily. Yeah. Mr. Matthews, this is Frank Sullivan, Danny's father-in-law. I think we need to talk. Cole stepped outside so he wouldn't wake Emma. Mr. Sullivan? Frank, please. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Diane and I are filing for custody of Emma. Our lawyer's already drawn up the papers. Why now? Where were you when Webb was beating her? We didn't know. Frank's voice was strained. Webb cut us off after Sarah died. Said Emma was too traumatized to see us, that we reminded her of Sarah and it was too painful. We respected that. We thought he was protecting her. You didn't question not seeing your granddaughter for 9 months. We tried. We called. We sent cards. We asked to visit. Webb always had excuses. We thought maybe he was right, that maybe it was too hard for Emma. We were wrong. God help us, we were so wrong. Cole heard the genuine anguish in Frank's voice. So now you want custody. She's our granddaughter, our blood, and we failed her once. We're not failing her again. She doesn't know you. She was 3 when Sarah died. She doesn't remember you. That's not her fault, it's ours. But we can fix that. We can give her stability, a real family home. 2 parents, resources, everything a child needs. She doesn't need 2 parents. She needs people who show up, who don't wait until it's convenient. Frank was quiet for a moment. You think we waited until it was convenient? We've been drowning in guilt since we saw the news, since we realized what was happening to her, while we were respecting her stepfather's wishes. Don't lecture me about showing up, Mr. Matthews. You disappeared from Emma's life for 3 years, too. The words hit like a slap because they were true. Cole had let Webb push him out. He'd trusted the badge when he should have trusted his instincts. You're right. I failed her too. But I'm here now. I rode 340 miles in the middle of the night with 67 people to stand between her and Webb. Where were you? We didn't know she was in danger. You should have known. You should have fought harder to see her. And you should have checked on her before she ended up in ICU with 3 skull fractures. We both failed Mr. Matthews. The difference is we're her family. We're blood, and family takes care of family. Family's not just blood. Family's the people who show up when it matters. Then let's see what the judge thinks. Frank's voice was cold now. We'll see you in court. The line went dead. Cole stood there, his world tilting. He'd been so focused on beating Webb, he hadn't prepared for a fight with Emma's grandparents. But he should have. Of course they'd come forward. They were Danny's in-laws, and Danny had been Cole's brother. The fact that they were on opposite sides of this now felt like a betrayal of everything Danny had stood for. Jenna found him on the patio. You look like someone died. Emma's grandparents are fighting for custody. Shit. Yeah. What are you going to do? Fight. What else can I do? You could step aside. Let them have her. She'd be with blood family Cole. That's not nothing. Cole looked at Jenna. You think I should give up? I think you need to ask yourself what's best for Emma, not what you want. If her grandparents can give her a better life. They can't. They're strangers to her. They didn't fight for her when Webb had her. They're only here now because it's safe, because Webb's in jail and there's no risk. Or they're here because they love her and they want to make up for lost time. I don't care. Emma wants me. That has to count for something. Jenna's face was sad. In court, against biological grandparents with resources and stability. Cole, you're a single biker with a record. How do you think that's going to play? I've changed. I've been sober for 7 years. I've got a successful business. I've got support. And they've got a 2-parent household and no criminal record at all. I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm trying to be realistic. Cole's phone buzzed. Marcus. Frank Sullivan's lawyer just contacted me. They want to meet, discuss a potential arrangement. What kind of arrangement? Shared custody. They take Emma during the school year, you get summers and holidays. They're willing to let you be part of her life if you don't fight them on primary custody. Cole's jaw clenched. Absolutely not. Cole, it's not a bad offer. It's not happening. I'm not giving her up. Then get ready for a war. Because the Sullivans have resources and they're going to use them. Cole hung up. Inside, Emma was awake, sitting at the kitchen table, eating cereal with Sarah Johnson. She looked up when Cole came in, her face brightening. Uncle Cole, I had a dream about Daddy Danny. We were playing cards and he let me win. Cole's heart clenched. That sounds like a good dream. It was. He told me to be brave and that everything was going to be okay. He's right about that. Emma tilted her head. Are you sad about something? Kids saw everything. I'm just tired, sweetheart. Didn't sleep much. Because of me. No baby. Never because of you. But Emma's face showed she didn't quite believe him. She went back to her cereal, quieter now. Cole wanted to kick himself. This little girl had spent her whole life reading adult moods to stay safe, and now she was reading his worry and internalizing it. Later that morning, Cole met with Marcus at a coffee shop near the Federal Building. Marcus had a stack of documents that made Cole's head hurt. The Sullivans have already submitted character references from their church, their neighbors, their former employers. They're building a profile of perfect grandparents. What do we have? The Desert Reapers are submitting references. Jenna Pop's Big Mike Maria. We've got Dr. Harrison on record saying Emma's specifically attached to you. We've got the Johnsons saying Emma has nightmares unless you're there, but Cole, it might not be enough. Then what will be enough? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Honestly, a miracle. Or Emma testifying that she wants you. She's 6. You want to put her on the stand. Judge Morrison can interview her in chambers. Private, no audience. Just the judge, the lawyers, and Emma. It's the best way to hear what she wants. And if what she wants is grandparents she doesn't remember instead of the guy who's been showing up, then you respect that. But Cole, I've seen Emma with you. I've watched her cling to you like you're the only solid thing in her world. If she testifies, she'll choose you. And if she doesn't, Marcus met his eyes. Then we accept it and move on. But I don't think that's going to happen. That afternoon, the Sullivans came to visit Emma. It was supervised CPS mandated with Rachel, the social worker, present. Cole stayed in the next room watching through the doorway as Frank and Diane Sullivan sat on the couch, trying to connect with a granddaughter who barely remembered them. Emma, sweetheart, do you remember us? Diane's voice was gentle, hopeful. Emma shook her head. No, ma'am. We're your mommy's parents, your grandma and grandpa. Oh. Emma's voice was small. Mommy talked about you sometimes. She said you lived far away. We live in Flagstaff, about 2 hours from here. We've wanted to see you so much, but your stepfather said it was too hard for you. Emma's eyes flickered toward the doorway where Cole stood. He said lots of things that weren't true. Frank leaned forward. Emma, we're so sorry we weren't there to protect you. If we'd known what was happening, why didn't you know? Emma's question was direct, unchildlike. Mommy called you. I heard her. She told you she was scared. Cole saw the blood drain from Diane's face. When did she call us? Before her car broke. She was crying. She said Daddy Marcus was dangerous and she needed help. You said it was probably nothing. The words hung in the air like an accusation. Frank's face crumpled. Emma, I don't remember that call. If your mother said she was in danger, she did, and you didn't believe her. Then her car broke and she died. Diane started crying. Oh God. Oh my God. Emma watched them cry with the detached observation of a child who'd seen too much adult emotion. Are you going to take me away from Uncle Cole? Frank wiped his eyes. We want to take care of you, Emma, give you a home, a family. I have a family. Uncle Cole and Aunt Jenna and Uncle Mike and all the bikers. 68 of them came to help me. How many people came to help you? The question was devastating in its simplicity. Rachel intervened. Emma, your grandparents love you very much. They don't know me. Emma's voice was matter-of-fact. Uncle Cole knows me. He checks my closets and he doesn't get mad when I have nightmares and he tells me stories about my daddy. What stories do you know? Diane reached out. Sweetheart, we have so many stories about your mommy. I don't want stories about mommy. They make me sad. I want stories about my daddy Danny. Do you have those? Frank shook his head slowly. No, Emma. We never met your father. He died before we had the chance. Then Uncle Cole knows more than you do, because he was there. He was my daddy's best friend. Cole's throat tightened. Emma was defending him with the fierce logic of childhood, cutting through adult complications to the simple truth. They were strangers. He wasn't. The visit ended badly. The Sullivans left in tears, Rachel looking shaken. Cole came in to find Emma staring at her hands. Did I do something wrong? Cole sat beside her. No, sweetheart, you told the truth. They were crying. Because they're sad they didn't help your mommy. That's not your fault. They want to take me away from you. Yeah, they do. Emma's small hand found his. I don't want to go. What if they could give you things I can't? A house with a yard, 2 parents instead of 1 fancy toys and nice clothes. Emma looked at him with those old eyes. Do they have motorcycles? Despite everything, Cole laughed. Probably not. Then I don't want them. I want you and the bikers. Emma, this is serious. You might not get a choice. Why not? It's my life. Don't I get to say what I want? You do. But sometimes grown-ups think they know better. Do they? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Emma was quiet for a long moment. Uncle Cole, if the judge says I have to go with my grandparents, will you still visit me? Every chance I get. You can't get rid of me, remember. Even if it's far away. I'd ride to the moon if that's where you were. Emma smiled, small but real. You can't ride a motorcycle to the moon. Watch me try. That night Cole couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Emma's question. Why didn't you know Sarah had called her parents for help and they'd dismissed her fears? Then she died. How much of Emma's suffering could have been prevented if someone had believed Sarah? His phone buzzed at 2 a.m. Pops. Got something. Check your email. Cole opened his laptop. Pops had sent phone records. Sarah's phone the month before she died. Multiple calls to Frank and Diane Sullivan. The longest was 17 minutes, 3 days before the accident. I pulled Sarah's phone records, Pop said when Cole called. She called her parents 6 times in 2 weeks. The longest call was 17 minutes. That's not a casual check-in. That's someone begging for help. Can we prove what was said? No. But we can prove she was reaching out and they did nothing. If the Sullivans are claiming they didn't know Sarah was in danger, these records say otherwise. This could destroy them in court. That's the idea. You want Emma safe with you, we need to show the Sullivans had a chance to save Sarah and Emma, and they failed. Not because they're bad people, but because they didn't want to believe a decorated cop could be dangerous. Cole stared at the records. Using them felt like fighting dirty. But this wasn't about fairness. This was about Emma. Send them to Marcus. Let him decide how to use them. The next day Marcus called. The phone records are gold. I'm subpoenaing the Sullivans for deposition. If they claim they didn't know Sarah was in danger, we've got proof they're lying. What if they're not lying? What if they just didn't believe it? Then they failed to protect their daughter when she called for help. Either way, it doesn't make them look good. The depositions happened 3 days later. Cole wasn't allowed in the room, but Marcus filled him in afterward. Frank Sullivan broke down, admitted Sarah called multiple times, saying she was scared that Webb was acting strange, that she found evidence of criminal activity. Frank told her she was overreacting, that Webb was a cop, that she should work things out. Diane backed him up, said they thought Sarah was being dramatic. They let their daughter die because they didn't want to believe her. Essentially, yes. And now they're trying to make up for it by taking Emma. Does the judge know? She will. I'm submitting the deposition transcripts and phone records as evidence. The Sullivans' case just fell apart. But Cole didn't feel victorious. He felt sick. The Sullivans had made a terrible mistake and Sarah and Emma had paid the price. Now they'd carry that guilt forever. 2 days before the custody hearing, Emma asked Cole a question that stopped him cold. Uncle Cole, if I go live with my grandparents, will you be sad? They were sitting on the Johnsons' back patio, Emma drawing pictures while Cole pretended to read a book. He put the book down. Yeah, sweetheart. I'd be real sad. Why? Because I love you, and I want you in my life. Even though I'm broken. Cole's heart shattered. Emma Grace Sullivan. You look at me. You're not broken. You've been hurt, and that's different. Broken means you can't be fixed. Hurt means you're healing. But I still have nightmares, and I get scared of closets and loud noises, and I don't like being alone. That's because of what happened to you. It doesn't make you broken. It makes you human. Emma's eyes filled with tears. My grandma said I need lots of help. She said I need therapy and special care, and they can give me that. You do need help, and you'll get it. But you don't need grandparents you barely know to get it. You can get it with me. Are you sure? Because I don't want to be too much trouble. Cole pulled her into his lap. Emma, listen to me. You're not trouble. You're the best thing that's happened to me in years. You make me want to be better, do better. You make me want to keep promises I thought I'd already broken. You're not too much of anything except too brave, too strong, and too damn stubborn for your own good. Emma giggled through her tears. You said a bad word. Yeah, well, sometimes bad words are necessary. Like when I tell you that if any judge tries to take you away from me, I'm going to fight like hell to keep you. That's 2 bad words. I'm on a roll. Emma hugged him tight. Uncle Cole, I don't want to live with my grandparents. I want to live with you. Then you tell the judge that. You tell her the truth about what you want. What if she doesn't listen? Then we'll figure something out. But Emma, I need you to know something. No matter what happens, no matter where you end up, I'm not leaving. You're stuck with me. Promise. On your daddy's grave, I promise. The custody hearing was set for 9 a.m. Cole woke up at 5, couldn't eat, couldn't think. He put on his best clothes, the ones Marcus had insisted he buy. Khakis and a button-down shirt, boots polished until they shined. He looked at himself in the mirror and barely recognized the man staring back. The Desert Reapers met him at the courthouse. All 67 of them wearing their best clothes, too. No leather vests, no patches, just people showing up for family. We're here for you, brother, Jenna said. Whatever happens. Inside the courtroom was packed. The Sullivans sat on one side with their lawyer, a sharp-looking woman in an expensive suit. Cole sat on the other with Marcus. Between them, Emma's entire future hung in the balance. Judge Morrison took the bench. We're here for the permanent custody hearing regarding Emma Grace Sullivan. I've reviewed all submitted evidence, including medical reports, character references, and deposition transcripts. I've also requested to speak with Emma privately in chambers. Does anyone object? The Sullivans' lawyer stood. Your Honor, Emma is 6 years old and has been through significant trauma. We question whether she's capable of making informed decisions about her own custody. I'm not asking her to make a decision, counselor. I'm asking her what she wants. There's a difference. Nevertheless, overruled. Bring Emma in. Emma entered small and scared in a new dress the Johnsons had bought her. She looked at Cole and he gave her a small nod. You've got this, kiddo. Judge Morrison smiled. Hello, Emma. Do you remember me? Yes, ma'am. You're the judge from the hospital. That's right. Emma, I'd like to talk to you in my office. Just you and me. Is that okay? Emma looked back at Cole. He nodded again. Emma straightened her shoulders. Okay. They disappeared into chambers. Cole sat there, his heart hammering, while 20 minutes stretched into an eternity. Frank Sullivan kept glancing at him, his face a mixture of hope and desperation. Finally, the door opened. Judge Morrison returned to the bench, her expression unreadable. Emma came back to sit with Rachel. I've spoken with Emma, Judge Morrison said, and I've made my decision. Judge Morrison's gavel hadn't even touched the bench when Cole's world narrowed to 3 words. This case presents unique challenges. Emma Sullivan has experienced severe trauma, and her recovery requires stability above all else. I've considered the medical evidence, the character references, and, most importantly, Emma's own wishes. Cole couldn't breathe. Across the aisle, Diane Sullivan gripped her husband's hand so tight her knuckles went white. Mr. and Mrs. Sullivan, I understand your desire to care for your granddaughter. Your remorse regarding your daughter's death is evident and genuine. However, the phone records submitted show that when Sarah Sullivan reached out for help, you dismissed her concerns. That failure, however understandable, resulted in tragedy. Frank Sullivan's face crumpled. Diane started crying quietly. Mr. Matthews, your history is far from perfect. The assault charges, the substance abuse issues, your lifestyle choices all give me pause. However, every piece of evidence shows that Emma has formed a primary attachment to you. Dr. Harrison's testimony confirms this. The Johnsons' observations support it, and Emma herself was unequivocal in chambers. Judge Morrison paused, looking directly at Cole. Emma told me, and I quote, Uncle Cole checks my closets and doesn't get mad when I wake up screaming. He knows my daddy's stories. He keeps his promises. Yet for a 6-year-old who's learned that adults lie, that trust is dangerous, that speaking up gets you hurt, those words carry significant weight. Cole's throat closed. Emma had fought for him with the only weapons she had, her truth. Therefore, I'm granting primary custody to Cole Matthews with the following conditions. Mandatory parenting classes, weekly therapy sessions for both Emma and Mr. Matthews, home visits from CPS every 2 weeks for the first 6 months, and supervised visitation for the Sullivans every other weekend. This arrangement will be reviewed in 1 year. The gavel came down. Cole couldn't move, couldn't process. He'd won. Emma was his. Emma launched herself from Rachel's side straight into Cole's arms. We get to stay together. Yes, sweetheart, we get to stay together. Forever. Forever. Behind them, Diane Sullivan's sobs got louder. Frank stood, slowly walked over. For a terrible moment, Cole thought he was going to start a fight. Instead, Frank extended his hand. Take care of her. Please. She's all we have left of Sarah. Cole shook his hand. I will. I promise. Can we? Frank's voice cracked. Can we be part of her life, not fighting for custody, just being her grandparents? Cole looked at Emma. What do you think, kiddo? Want to get to know your grandparents? Emma studied Frank and Diane with that too-old wisdom. Will you believe me if I tell you something's wrong? The question devastated them. Diane dropped to her knees despite her nice dress on the courtroom floor. Yes, baby, always. We failed your mother. We'll never fail you again. And you won't try to take me away from Uncle Cole. No, never. Emma nodded slowly. Okay, you can visit. Outside the courthouse, the Desert Reapers erupted in cheers. Big Mike lifted Emma onto his shoulders while she laughed, the sound pure and unguarded. News cameras captured everything, the bikers celebrating Emma's joy. Cole's tears, he wasn't even trying to hide anymore. Jenna hugged him hard. You did it, brother. We did it, all of us. Pops limped over. Danny would be proud. You kept your word. Took me long enough. You got there when it mattered. That's what counts. Marcus was already on his phone coordinating next steps. We need to get Emma's stuff from the Johnsons, set up her room at your place, transfer her medical records, enroll her in school. There's a mountain of paperwork. I don't care about paperwork. I care about getting her home. Home. Emma's voice was wondering. I get to go home with you. Yeah, sweetheart, we're going home. The ride back to Tucson was different from the desperate race 3 weeks ago. This time, Emma rode in Jenna's car with the Johnsons following in theirs, bringing Emma's few possessions. The Desert Reapers formed an escort, 68 motorcycles surrounding them like a protective shield. Emma pressed her face against the car window, watching the bikes. Are they always going to protect us? Jenna smiled. That's what family does. All 68 of them are my family. Every single one, plus more you haven't met yet. The club's got over 100 members across Arizona. That's a lot of family. You're worth it, kiddo. Cole's house in Tucson was modest, a 3-bedroom ranch he'd bought cheap and fixed up himself. He'd spent the past week preparing Emma's room, painting it soft purple, because the Johnsons said it was her favorite color, buying furniture and toys and books. Standing in the driveway now, looking at the house through Emma's eyes, he saw how small and plain it was. It's not fancy, he said as Emma climbed out of the car, but it's safe, and it's yours. Emma walked up the driveway slowly, taking everything in. Cole unlocked the door, let her enter first. She stood in the living room, turning in a slow circle. Where's my room? Cole led her down the hall. He'd worked for 3 days straight, making it perfect: purple walls, white furniture, shelves full of books and stuffed animals, a nightlight shaped like stars, and most importantly, a closet with a clear door so she could always see inside. Emma stood in the doorway, not moving. Cole's heart sank. She hated it. He'd tried too hard, made it too much. Emma, you okay? It's mine. Her voice was barely a whisper. All yours. No one can take it away. No one. This is your room in your house. Our house. Emma walked to the bed, sat down carefully, like she was afraid it might disappear. She picked up the stuffed bear Pops had given her at the hospital. Can I put my stuff wherever I want? Anywhere you want. And you won't get mad if I mess it up. Cole's throat tightened. Sweetheart, this is your room. You can mess it up however you want. You can draw on the walls if that makes you happy. Really? Well, maybe ask first, but the point is, this is your space, your safe space. Nobody gets mad at you here. Emma's lip trembled. Uncle Cole, I don't know how to do this. Do what, baby? Be normal. Have a regular room and a regular home. I don't remember what that's like. Cole sat on the bed beside her. Then we'll figure it out together, because I don't really know how to do this either. I've never been a dad before. You're doing okay so far? Yeah. You're the best dad I never had. She paused. Can I call you Dad instead of Uncle Cole? The question hit Cole harder than any punch he'd ever taken. Emma, your daddy was Danny. He's the one who deserves that name. I know, but he's not here, and you are. Can I have both? Can I have Daddy Danny, who I remember in stories, and Dad who checks my closets? Cole pulled her into his arms. Yes, sweetheart. You can have both. Okay. Emma's voice was muffled against his shirt. Okay, Dad. The words sent something breaking and healing simultaneously in Cole's chest. He'd never wanted kids, never thought he'd be any good at it. But sitting here with Danny's daughter calling him Dad, he couldn't imagine wanting anything else. That first night in their house was hard. Emma woke up screaming at 2 a.m., convinced Webb was in her closet. Cole ran to her room, turned on every light, showed her the empty closet with its clear door. See nothing there, just clothes and shoes. Emma was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. He was there. I saw him. It was a nightmare, baby. A bad dream. It felt real. I know, but it wasn't. And I'm right here. I'm in the room next door and my door's open all night. You scream, I'm here in seconds. Promise. Promise. Want to test it? You scream, right now I'll run out and run back in, show you how fast I can get here. Despite her fear, Emma almost smiled. That's silly. Maybe, but I'm serious. You need me. I'm here. Always. Emma's grip on her blanket loosened slightly. Can you stay until I fall asleep? I can stay all night if you want. You don't have to. Emma. Grace, listen to me. There is nowhere else I'd rather be than right here making sure you feel safe. That's my job now. My only job that matters. She scooted over in her bed. Will you lay down, not in the chair here? Cole kicked off his boots and stretched out on top of the covers. Emma curled into his side, her small body finding safety in his presence. Within minutes, she was asleep again. Cole stayed awake all night watching her breathe, checking the closet every time the house creaked, making sure the nightlight stayed on. This was his life now. Sleepless nights and closet checks and promises made in the dark. And he wouldn't trade it for anything. The next morning, Jenna arrived at 7 with groceries and coffee. You look like hell. Didn't sleep. Emma had nightmares. How many? So 4, maybe 5. Lost count. Jenna started putting groceries away. It'll get better. Trauma takes time. What if it doesn't? What if I can't help her? Then you get help. That's what the therapy's for, both of you. Emma appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. Aunt Jenna. Hey kiddo, I brought pancake stuff. You hungry? Can I help make them? Absolutely. Cole watched them work together in the kitchen, Emma standing on a chair to reach the counter, Jenna teaching her how to flip pancakes. This was normal. This was what families did, and somehow, miraculously, he had it. His phone rang. Marcus. We've got a problem. Cole's stomach dropped. What now? Webb's posting bail. What, they arrested him on federal charges. His lawyer found a technicality. Judge granted bail at $5 million. His union posted it. When? He's being released this afternoon. Cole's blood ran cold. He looked at Emma laughing in the kitchen flour on her nose, finally feeling safe. He's coming for her. We don't know that. The protective order's still in place. He doesn't care about protective orders. He killed his wife, Marcus. You think a piece of paper's going to stop him? What do you want to do? I want that bastard back in jail where he belongs. FBI's already filing appeals. But Cole, it could take days. You need to be careful. Cole hung up, called Pops. Webb's out on bail. I heard. Already making calls. FBI's putting surveillance on him, but they're stretched thin. That's not good enough. Emma's exposed. Then we don't leave her exposed. I'm activating the club. Round-the-clock protection until Webb's back in custody. Pops. No arguments. That little girl's family now. We protect family. Within 2 hours, Desert Reapers started arriving. Big Mike took first shift parking his bike in Cole's driveway. Maria came with therapy books and coloring supplies. Tommy showed up with his toolbox and installed a security system that would make Fort Knox jealous. Emma watched from the window. Why are they all here? Cole knelt beside her. Remember I said the bad people were in jail? Yes. Well, one of them got out. Just for a little while until the police can put him back. So our family's making sure we're extra safe. Emma's face went pale. Daddy Marcus is out. He can't come near you. The judge said so. But we're being careful. What if he comes anyway? Then he's got to get through me and Big Mike and Tommy and every single person outside. And sweetheart, he's not getting through us. Promise? On your daddy's grave. Promise. But Emma didn't look convinced. She spent the rest of the day close to Cole, jumping at every sound. The nightmares that night were worse. 5 times she woke up screaming, and the 5th time she refused to go back to sleep at all. At 4 a.m., Cole sat on the back patio with Emma wrapped in a blanket beside him. Stars filled the desert sky, countless and bright. You see that constellation? Cole pointed. That's Orion, the hunter. Why is he hunting? Different stories say different things, but I like to think he's hunting bad things, protecting people. Like you. Like all of us. Everyone outside right now, they're hunters too. Protecting what matters. Am I what matters? You're everything that matters, Emma. She was quiet for a long moment. Dad, I'm scared. I know, baby. What if Daddy Marcus finds me? What if he hurts me again? He won't. I won't let him. You can't promise that. You don't know what he'll do. Cole turned her to face him. You're right. I can't control what he does, but I can control what I do. And what I do is stand between him and you no matter what. He wants to hurt you. He's got to kill me first. And I'm a lot harder to kill than he thinks. Don't say that. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Don't talk about dying. Then let me say this instead. I'm not going anywhere. Not ever. And I've got 68 brothers and sisters who feel the same way. We're your wall, Emma. Your shield. Nothing gets through us. Emma buried her face in his shoulder. I just want to feel safe. I know, and you will. I promise you will. Dawn came slow and red. Big Mike brought breakfast burritos and news. FBI lost Webb. Cole's blood turned to ice. What? He left his house around midnight, gave them the slip. They've been searching for 6 hours. No sign of him. He's coming here. We don't know that. I know that. He's got nothing left to lose and everything to gain by silencing Emma. He's coming. Cole called Marcus immediately. We need Judge Morrison to revoke bail right now. She can't revoke what she didn't grant. Different judge and he's unreachable until 9 a.m. That's 4 hours. Anything could happen in 4 hours. I know. I'm trying. But Cole, you need to consider taking Emma somewhere safe. Somewhere Webb can't find her. Where he's a cop. He's got resources, connections. Then we go to the FBI. Protective custody. Cole looked at Emma sleeping on the couch, finally exhausted enough to rest. She just got home, Marcus. I just got her home. And you'll get her home again when Webb's back in custody. But right now, staying there makes her a target. Cole knew Marcus was right, but everything in him rebelled against running. He'd fought for this girl, for this home, for this life. Giving it up even temporarily felt like surrender. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Cole answered cautiously. Yeah. Hello, Cole? Webb's voice was calm, almost pleasant. I think we need to talk. Every muscle in Cole's body went rigid. We've got nothing to talk about. Oh, I disagree. We've got Emma to talk about. My daughter. She's not your daughter. She never was. Legally, she was mine for 3 years, and I think we both know Emma knows things. Things that could hurt certain people. That makes her a problem. You threatening a 6-year-old. I'm explaining reality. Emma's testimony put me in jail. Her continued testimony keeps me there. Remove Emma from the equation, and suddenly the case against me gets much weaker. Cole's hand tightened on the phone. You come near her. You'll what call the police. I am the police, Cole. I've got friends in every department in Arizona. You think some protective order scares me? FBI's looking for you. Let them look. I've got 12 hours before they find me. That's more than enough time. For what? To finish what I started. Emma should have died in that hospital. She should have died 6 months ago when I started getting serious. But she's stubborn, like her mother. Sarah was stubborn too, right until her brakes failed. Cole forced himself to breathe, to think. Webb wanted him panicked, wanted him to make mistakes. You'll never get near her. I've got 68 people between you and Emma. 68 bikers against the entire Phoenix Police Union. Those are interesting odds. Webb paused. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to bring Emma to me. Neutral location. I say goodbye properly, and then I disappear. You never hear from me again. You're insane if you think, or I come to you. I bring friends. It gets messy. People get hurt. Emma watches more people die because of her. Is that what you want? More trauma for that poor broken little girl. She's not broken. Not yet, but she will be. One way or another. Cole, your choice. Bring her to me, or I come to you. Either way, this ends tonight. The line went dead. Cole stood there, phone in his hand, rage and fear warring in his chest. Webb had just declared war, and Emma was the battlefield. Pops appeared in the doorway. That was him, wasn't it? Yeah. What did he say? Cole repeated the conversation. When he finished, Pops's face was grim. He's bluffing about coming here. Too risky, too many witnesses. He's desperate. Desperate men don't care about risk. So what do? Cole looked at Emma. We call Chen. We put Emma in protective custody right now. And if she won't go, you heard her last night. She's terrified of being separated from you. Then I go with her. FBI won't let you tag along to a safe house, and you know it. Cole's phone buzzed again. Webb. A text this time. Just an address and a time. 11 p.m. Come alone or everyone dies. He's forcing a confrontation, Cole said. You can't go. It's a trap. I know it's a trap, but if I don't go, he comes here, and Emma's in the crossfire. So we call the FBI, set up a sting. He'll know. He's a cop, Pops. He'll spot FBI surveillance from a mile away. Then what? Cole was quiet for a long moment. Then I go. Alone. I end this. That's suicide. Maybe. But Emma lives. That's all that matters. Pops grabbed Cole's arm. You think Danny would want you throwing your life away? You think Emma can survive losing another father? She'll survive. She's stronger than all of us. Don't do this, Cole. There's always another way. Not this time. Webb made it clear. Him or Emma. And that's not even a choice. Emma stirred on the couch, waking up. She saw Cole and Pops talking intensely, and her face filled with worry. What's wrong? Cole forced a smile. Nothing, baby. Just grown-up stuff. Don't lie to me. I can tell when adults are lying. Her voice was small but firm. Is Daddy Marcus coming? Cole knelt beside the couch. Emma, listen to me. Some bad things might happen tonight, but I need you to trust me. Can you do that? What kind of bad things? I can't explain right now, but I need you to promise me something. No matter what happens, no matter what you hear or see, you trust that I'm doing everything to keep you safe. Okay. Emma's eyes filled with tears. You're scaring me. I know, and I'm sorry, but Emma, this is important. Promise me. I promise. But Dad, please don't go away. Please don't leave me. Cole pulled her into his arms. I'm not leaving you, not ever. That's a promise I'm keeping. But even as he said it, Cole knew it might be the first promise he couldn't keep. Because tonight he was riding into hell, and he wasn't sure he was coming back. Cole spent the day preparing like he was going back to war. He cleaned his Glock, checked the magazine, made sure everything functioned. Pops watched from the doorway, his face grave. You're really doing this? I don't have a choice. There's always a choice. Call Chen, let the FBI handle it. Webb will run the second he sees federal presence. This is the only way to end it. Or the only way to get yourself killed. Cole slid the magazine home with a click. Then Emma's safe and Webb's in custody. Either way, mission accomplished. Don't talk like that. Emma needs you alive. Emma needs Webb gone more than she needs me breathing. You know I'm right. Pops was quiet for a long moment. Danny made you promise to protect her, not die for her. Sometimes protecting means dying. Danny knew that. He jumped on a grenade for 6 men he barely knew. You think he'd hesitate to do it for his daughter? Danny didn't have a daughter to raise afterward. You do. The words hit hard because they were true. Cole looked through the doorway to where Emma was coloring with Jenna, her small face scrunched in concentration. She'd been through hell and was just starting to heal. Losing him would break her all over again. So what do I do? Pops let Webb come here. Risk everyone. We fight together. That's what the club's for. He'll kill anyone between him and Emma. You want that blood on your hands? Better than your blood on Emma's hands. She's 6 years old, Cole. She can't lose another father. Cole's phone buzzed. Chen. We've located Webb. He's holed up in a motel outside Tucson. SWAT's mobilizing now. What's the address? Can't tell you that. This is an active operation. The hell it is. Webb threatened Emma. I have a right. You have a right to stay out of the way and let us do our jobs. We'll have him in custody within 2 hours. And if he runs again, he won't. We've got eyes on every exit. He's trapped. Cole wanted to believe it, but something felt wrong. Chen Webb's smart. He wouldn't hole up somewhere without an escape plan. Our people know what they're doing, Mr. Matthews. Stay with Emma. Keep her safe. We'll handle Webb. The call ended. Cole looked at Pops. They found him. You believe that? No. This feels like misdirection. So what's the real play? Cole pulled up the text from Webb again, studied the address. It was an abandoned warehouse on the south side of Tucson, the kind of place where bodies got dumped and nobody asked questions. Webb wants me to come alone. He's betting I won't risk Emma by bringing backup. So we call his bluff. You don't go. And he kills whoever FBI sends instead. Or he disappears and comes back when we're not ready. No, this ends tonight, one way or another. At 7 p.m., Marcus arrived with documents. Emergency protective custody order. FBI's authorized to move Emma to a safe house tonight. Emma looked up from her coloring. What's a safe house? It's a place where nobody can find you, Marcus said gently. Super secret, super safe. Will Dad be there? Marcus glanced at Cole. Not at first, but once everything's settled. No. Emma's voice was flat. I'm not going without Dad. Emma, it's just for a little while. No, you promised. She turned to Cole, tears streaming. You promised you wouldn't leave me. Cole pulled her close. I'm not leaving you, baby. Never. Then why are they trying to take me away? Because I'm trying to keep you safe. I'm safe with you. I don't want a safe house. I want you. Her small hands fisted in his shirt. Please don't make me go. Please. Cole looked at Marcus over Emma's head. She's not going. Cole, be reasonable. I said she's not going. Emma stays with me, period. You're making a mistake. Then it's my mistake to make. Marcus left frustrated and worried. Jenna took his place, sitting across from Cole while Emma clung to him like a lifeline. You're going to meet Webb tonight, aren't you? How'd you know? Because I've known you for 8 years and I know that look. You're going to do something heroic and stupid. Just stupid, probably. Cole, please don't. Let the FBI handle it. They can't. Webb's too connected, too smart. This is personal now. It ends with me. What about Emma? What happens to her if you don't come back? Pops has guardianship papers. So do you. If something happens to me, you take over. She'll be safe. Jenna's eyes filled with tears. Don't do this. Don't make me raise Danny's daughter because you got yourself killed trying to be a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm trying to keep my promise. Danny didn't ask you to die for Emma. He asked you to live for her. Sometimes they're the same thing. At 10 p.m., Cole started getting ready. He checked his weapon again, strapped on a vest under his jacket, put his steel-toed boots back on. Emma watched from her bedroom doorway. "Where are you going?" "I've got an errand, sweetheart. I'll be back before you know it." "You're lying. You're going to fight Daddy Marcus." Cole's hand stilled. "Emma, don't lie to me. I'm not stupid. I know what's happening." Her voice rose to a scream. "You're going to leave me like everyone else leaves me." Cole crossed to her in 3 strides, knelt down, took her face in his hands. "Listen to me, Emma Grace. I am coming back. You hear me? I am coming back. This is not goodbye. You don't know that. What if he kills you? He won't. What if he does? What if I lose you too? I can't lose anyone else, Dad. I can't." Her words broke him. This little girl who'd lost her real father to war, her mother to murder, her safety to abuse, now faced losing the one person who'd fought for her. "Emma, I need you to be brave one more time. Can you do that for me?" "I don't want to be brave. I want you to stay." "I know. But some things are more important than what we want. Keeping you safe is more important than anything. And the only way to keep you safe is to make sure Webb can never hurt you again." "Then take me with you. I'll hide. I'll be quiet. Just don't leave me here not knowing." "I can't do that, baby. You stay here with Aunt Jenna and Uncle Pops and everyone else who loves you. And when I come back, we're going to have pancakes for breakfast and start planning your room exactly how you want it. Promise." Cole's throat closed. "I promise." He hugged her tight, memorizing the weight of her, the way her small arms wrapped around his neck, the sound of her breathing. If this was the last time, he wanted to remember every second. "I love you, Emma. Don't ever forget that." "I love you too, Dad." He stood, handed her to Jenna, and walked out before he could change his mind. Outside, Big Mike was waiting by Cole's Harley. "You're not going alone." "Mike, save it. You're not going alone. Neither is he." Pops limped over, helmet in hand. "Or him." Tommy appeared from the garage. One by one, 12 Desert Reapers mounted their bikes. "I said come alone," Cole said. "Yeah, well, we're not good at following orders," Big Mike replied. "You're riding into an ambush. You need backup. Webb sees all of you. He'll kill Emma just to spite me. Then we stay back out of sight, but we're there if things go sideways." Cole looked at his brothers, these men who'd dropped everything to stand with him. "This isn't your fight. Emma's family. That makes it our fight." There wasn't time to argue. Cole checked his watch. 10:45, 15 minutes to the warehouse. He mounted his Harley, kicked it to life. The other bikes followed suit, their engines a thunder that rolled across the quiet Tucson night. They rode fast, formation tight. Cole's mind raced through scenarios, each one ending with blood. Webb was a trained cop, probably armed, definitely dangerous. This was suicide, but it was the only way. The warehouse appeared ahead, dark and abandoned. Cole signaled for the others to hang back, killed his engine a block away. The sudden silence was deafening. "Stay here," he told them. "If you hear shots, call Chen. Don't come in after me." "Like hell." "That's an order, Mike. Emma needs someone alive to take care of her. That someone's you if I don't walk out." Cole walked the last block alone, his hand on his weapon, every sense alert. The warehouse door hung open, creaking in the wind. Inside was darkness and the smell of rust and decay. "Webb, I'm here." His voice echoed in the empty space. No response. Cole moved deeper inside, using support pillars for cover, scanning shadows. This was wrong. Webb should have shown himself by now. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Wrong warehouse hero. While you're playing soldier, I'm at your house with Emma." Cole's blood turned to ice. He ran sprinting back to his bike, the other riders seeing his panic and mounting up immediately. "It's a trap. He's at the house." They rode like demons, engines screaming, tearing through red lights and stop signs. Cole's phone rang. Jenna, her voice shaking. "Cole, someone's trying to break in." "The alarm's going off." Emma's hysterical. "Lock yourself in Emma's room. I'm 3 minutes out." "He's got bolt cutters. He's cutting through the security gate." 3 minutes, Jenna. Hold on." Cole pushed his Harley past anything safe, past anything sane. Behind him, 12 bikes matched his speed. They hit his street at 80 miles an hour, saw Webb's car in the driveway, saw the cut security gate. Cole was off his bike before it stopped rolling, weapon drawn, crashing through his front door. Webb stood in the hallway, gun in hand, facing Emma's locked bedroom door. Step away from the door. Webb turned, smiled. There you are. Took you long enough. I said step away. Or what? You'll shoot a cop that plays great in court. You're not a cop anymore. You're a child abuser and a murderer. Allegedly, still haven't been convicted. Webb's gun stayed pointed at the door. Here's what's going to happen. Emma comes out, I take her, we disappear. You never see her again, but she lives. Or you try to be a hero, I shoot through this door and you get to live with killing her. You're surrounded, Webb. 12 riders outside, FBI on the way, nowhere to run. Don't care. Emma dies either way if I don't get what I want. Behind the door, Emma's sobbing was audible, Jenna's voice trying to calm her. It's okay, baby, Dad's here. Dad? Webb laughed. That's rich. You're not her father. You're a stand-in for a dead man who was smarter than you'll ever be. Danny was my brother. Danny was a fool who got himself blown up because he couldn't let someone else take point. Hero complex just like yours. Guess that's hereditary. Cole's finger tightened on the trigger. One shot. Center mass, and this. But Webb's gun was still aimed at the door. If Cole fired, Webb's reflexes might send a shot through the wood, through the walls, into Emma. You want me? Take me. Let Emma go. Why would I do that? She's my leverage, my insurance policy. Without her testimony, the feds have got nothing but circumstantial evidence. They've got Sarah's recordings, her flash drive with all your accounts. Something flickered in Webb's eyes. Fear. That's impossible. I destroyed that drive. You destroyed a drive. Sarah made copies, 3 of them. FBI has them all. Cole was bluffing, but Webb didn't know that. You're finished. The only question is whether you go down for murder and corruption, or if you add killing a cop to the list. You're not a cop. No, but they are. Cole tilted his head toward the front door where voices were gathering. SWAT's outside. Chen's outside. You're surrounded by actual law enforcement. This ends one of 2 ways, Webb. You surrender or you die. Those are your options. Webb's gun wavered slightly. You're bluffing. Am I? Look out the window. Webb glanced toward the front windows, saw the red and blue lights now filling the street, heard the megaphone ordering him to come out with his hands up. His face went pale. They moved up the timeline when you went off grid. Cole lied smoothly. Been tracking your phone the whole time. You led them right to you. No, I was careful. You're a dirty cop who thinks he's smarter than the feds. They've been 3 steps ahead of you this whole time. Webb's gun swung back to the door, his face twisting with rage. Then I've got nothing to lose. Except your life. Emma's 6 years old. She's got 60, 70 years ahead of her to live, to heal, to be happy. You take that from her, you don't get a cell. You get a bullet. Every cop in that line outside, they've got kids. You hurt Emma, they'll tear you apart. They're cops. They won't. You killed one of their own's kid. Rules go out the window. You know that. Webb's hand shook. Sweat beaded on his forehead. He was cracking. Cole could see it. But a cracking man with a gun was the most dangerous thing in the world. Marcus. Cole used his first name, deliberately humanizing him. You were a good cop once. Decorated, respected. I saw your file. You did good work before the money got involved. That man's still in there somewhere. That man died the day I realized the system was rigged. Cops like me, we break our backs for nothing while criminals get rich. I just decided to get mine. And it cost you everything. Your wife, your stepdaughter's trust, your career. Was it worth it? Yes. But Webb's voice cracked. It had to be worth it. It wasn't. You know it wasn't. Sarah's dead. Emma's broken. And you're about to die in a shootout in a stranger's house. That's not winning. That's losing everything. Webb's gun lowered an inch. Just an inch, but it was enough. Cole moved fast, closing the distance, grabbing Webb's gun hand, forcing it toward the ceiling. They struggled, crashing into walls. Webb stronger than he looked. fighting with the desperation of a man with nothing left. The gun went off the shot, deafening in the confined space, plaster raining down from the ceiling. Emma screamed. Cole drove his knee into Webb's gut, twisted his wrist until something cracked, until the gun clattered to the floor. They went down hard, Cole on top his forearm, across Webb's throat, pressing. Webb clawed at his face, gasping for air. Go ahead, kill me. Prove you're no better than me. Cole wanted to. God, he wanted to. This man had killed Sarah, tortured Emma, destroyed so much. It would be easy to press harder, to watch the light fade from Webb's eyes. But Emma was on the other side of that door, listening to everything. And Cole had promised her she was safe, that the bad man couldn't hurt her anymore. He hadn't promised to become a bad man himself. Cole pulled back, flipped Webb onto his stomach, yanked his arms behind his back. You're under arrest for breaking and entering, violating a protective order, attempted kidnapping, and being a piece of garbage. FBI can add the rest. The front door crashed open. SWAT flooded in, rifles up, shouting commands. Chen was right behind them. Clear, Matthews, step back. Cole stood, hands raised, letting them take over. They swarmed Webb, cuffing him, reading him his rights. Webb was still gasping, still fighting weakly. You ruined my life, he spat at Cole. No, you did that yourself. I just made sure you didn't ruin Emma's too. They dragged Webb out. Cole's hands shook with adrenaline, with the aftermath of violence. Jenna opened Emma's door, her face pale. Is he gone? He's gone. It's over. Emma appeared behind Jenna, her face streaked with tears, her small body trembling. Dad. Cole dropped to his knees. I'm here, baby. I'm okay. We're okay. She ran to him, crashed into his arms with enough force to knock him back. You came back. You came back. I promised, didn't I? His voice broke. I keep my promises. I was so scared. I thought he was going to hurt you. I thought I'd lose you too. Never. You're never losing me. Not ever. Emma clung to him while the house filled with FBI agents and police and Desert Reapers checking on them. Chen crouched down beside them. Mr. Matthews, we need to take your statement. Later. Right now I'm exactly where I need to be. Chen nodded, stood back. The agents processed the scene, photographed evidence, collected the weapons. Through it all, Cole held Emma, feeling her heartbeat against his chest, feeling her tears soak through his shirt. Big Mike appeared in the doorway. House is secure. We've got riders posted outside if you need anything. Thanks, brother. Anytime. That's what family does. It took 2 hours for everyone to clear out. Chen promised they'd need full statements tomorrow, but tonight Emma needed peace. Finally, the house was quiet again. Just Cole and Emma and Jenna cleaning up broken glass. You should stay here tonight, Cole told Jenna. Guest room's made up. You sure Emma might want just you? I want Aunt Jenna to stay, Emma said quietly. I want family around. Jenna's eyes filled with tears. Okay, kiddo, I'll stay. They put Emma to bed together, both checking the closet even though they all knew it was empty. Emma asked for the door to stay open, asked for every light in the hallway to stay on, asked Cole to stay in the chair beside her bed. I'm not going anywhere, he promised, not even to sleep. Not even to sleep. Emma's eyes drifted closed, then snapped open again. Dad, is Daddy Marcus really gone, this time forever? Forever. He's going to prison for the rest of his life. He'll never hurt you again. What about his friends? The other bad policemen. FBI arrested them all. They're gone too. So, I'm safe now. Really safe. Really safe, I promise. Emma's eyes closed again, stayed closed. Within minutes, her breathing evened out. Cole sat there watching her, this brave little girl who'd survived hell and was finally safe. Jenna appeared in the doorway. She asleep? Yeah. You should sleep too. You look dead on your feet. Can't. Keep thinking about what would have happened if I'd been 30 seconds slower. But you weren't. You got here. You saved her. We saved her. All of us. The whole damn club. That's what Danny asked you to do, isn't it? Watch over her. You did it, Cole. You kept your promise. Cole looked at Danny's photo on Emma's nightstand, at his brother's smiling face, frozen forever at 24. Took me long enough. You got there when it mattered. That's all that counts. 3 weeks later, Cole stood in Judge Morrison's chambers for the final custody hearing. Webb was in federal prison awaiting trial on multiple charges, including first-degree murder. The other corrupt cops were there with him. Emma's grandparents had withdrawn their custody petition, asking instead for regular visitation rights. "Mr. Matthews," Judge Morrison said, "I've reviewed the events of the past month. The break-in, the confrontation, the arrest. You put yourself between Emma and danger repeatedly." "Yes, Your Honor. Some might say that was reckless, that you escalated situations unnecessarily. I did what I had to do to keep Emma safe." Judge Morrison nodded. "And Emma, how's she adjusting?" "Better every day. Still has nightmares, but they're getting less frequent. She's starting therapy, making friends at her new school. She's healing." "And you? How are you handling single parenthood?" "It's hard, really hard, but it's also the best thing I've ever done. Emma's the best thing that's ever happened to me." Judge Morrison studied him for a long moment. "Mr. Matthews, I'm making your custody permanent. Emma Sullivan is legally your daughter. Congratulations." Cole's knees almost buckled. "Thank you, Your Honor." "Don't thank me yet. This is a lifetime commitment. Emma will need years of support therapy patients. Are you prepared for that?" "Yes, ma'am. Whatever it takes." Then this court grants full custody of Emma Grace Sullivan to Cole Matthews. Case closed. Outside the courthouse, Emma waited with Jenna. When she saw Cole's face, she knew. "We get to stay together. Forever, kiddo. You're stuck with me." Emma threw her arms around him. "Good, because I wasn't leaving anyway." The Desert Reapers were waiting outside, all 68 of them, plus more who'd heard about the hearing. They'd brought their bikes, their families, their support. When they saw Cole and Emma emerge, they erupted in cheers. Pops walked forward, carrying a small leather vest, child-sized, with Emma's name stitched above the pocket. "Emma Grace Sullivan Matthews, you're officially a Desert Reaper. Not a rider yet, but family. Always family." He draped it over her shoulders. Emma looked at the patch, at the words Desert Reapers, at the people surrounding her with love in their eyes. "All of you are my family." "Every single one," Jenna said. "We ride for you, we fight for you, we show up for you. That's the deal." Emma turned to Cole. "Dad, can I say something to everyone?" "Of course." Emma stepped forward, her small voice carrying across the parking lot. "Thank you for saving me. Thank you for showing up when nobody else did. Thank you for teaching me that family isn't just blood. It's people who keep their promises." There wasn't a dry eye in the parking lot. 6 months later, Emma's 7th birthday arrived. They celebrated at the Desert Reapers Clubhouse, 68 aunts and uncles bringing presents and cake and chaos. Emma ran between them, laughing her nightmares fewer, now her smile coming easier. Frank and Diane Sullivan came tentative but welcome. They'd been visiting every other weekend like the judge ordered, building bridges slowly, carefully. Emma was starting to remember her mother through their stories, starting to see them as grandparents instead of strangers who'd failed her mom. As the party wound down, Emma tugged Cole's hand. "Dad, can we go somewhere?" "Where, sweetheart?" "To see Daddy Danny." They drove to the Veterans Cemetery where Danny was buried, Emma holding flowers she'd picked herself. She knelt by the headstone, arranged the flowers carefully. "Hi, Daddy Danny. It's me, Emma. I'm 7 now. I know you can't see me, but Dad says you're watching, so I wanted to tell you some things." Cole stepped back, giving her space. "I have a new dad now. His name's Cole. But you knew that because he was your best friend. He keeps his promises just like you did. He checks my closets, and he doesn't get mad when I'm scared, and he tells me stories about you. He says you were a hero. I think he's a hero too." Emma was quiet for a moment, tracing her finger over Danny's name on the headstone. "I have a big family now, 68 aunts and uncles who ride motorcycles. They came to save me when I was hurt. They didn't even know me, but they came anyway. That's pretty cool, right?" She stood, looked at Cole. "I think Daddy Danny would like our family." Cole's voice was rough. "I know he would, sweetheart. He'd be so proud of you." "Do you think he's proud of you too?" "I hope so. I tried to keep my promise." Emma took his hand. "You did. You kept it perfectly." They walked back to the car. Behind them, the sun set over the cemetery, painting everything gold and red. Cole thought about promises made in dust and blood, about a brother who'd asked for one last thing, about a little girl who'd survived hell and found family on the other side. He'd failed for 3 years, letting Webb isolate Emma, letting fear and doubt keep him away. But when it mattered, when Emma's life hung in the balance, Cole had shown up. He'd ridden through the night with 67 brothers and sisters. He'd stood between her and evil. He'd fought for her right to heal and grow and be loved. That night, after Emma was asleep, Cole sat on his back patio looking at the stars. His phone buzzed, a text from Big Mike. "Good party today." Emma looked happy. She was. "Thanks for everything, brother." "That's what family does. We show up." Cole smiled. Family. Not the one he was born into, but the one he'd chosen. The one that had chosen him back. 68 riders who'd dropped everything for a 6-year-old girl they'd never met. A trauma nurse who'd become a sister. A lawyer who'd fought for justice. An old man who'd dug up truth when it was buried deep. Teachers and mechanics and veterans who understood that some promises you don't break. Emma was healing. She had nightmares less often now, maybe once a week instead of every night. She was making friends at school, bringing home drawings and stories, and the innocent joy of childhood slowly returning. She called him Dad without hesitation, without the fear that he'd disappear like everyone else had disappeared. She was safe. She was loved. She was home. And Cole had finally kept his promise. 68 bikers had stormed a hospital to protect a girl from her stepfather. What they did shocked everyone because they proved that family isn't about blood or badges or perfect histories. Family is about showing up when someone needs you, standing between them and danger, refusing to leave even when it's hard. Family is keeping promises, even when you're scared, even when the odds are impossible, even when everyone says you should quit. Emma had learned that lesson in the worst possible way. But she'd also learned that for every person who fails you, there are others who won't. For every broken promise, there are people who will ride 600 miles in the middle of the night to keep theirs. For every monster hiding in closets, there are heroes checking to make sure they're empty. She'd learned that love isn't gentle words and perfect parents. Sometimes love is rough hands and leather vests and 68 motorcycles thundering through the desert dawn. Sometimes love is a former Marine with a record and a big heart, who refuses to let you face your nightmares alone. Sometimes love is a chosen family that shows up not because they have to, but because they want to, because you matter, because you're worth it. Webb would spend the rest of his life in prison. His corrupt partners were there with him. The investigation had exposed a network of dirty cops that reached higher than anyone expected. Heads were rolling in Phoenix PD, reforms being implemented, systems being fixed. Sarah Sullivan's death had been ruled a homicide. Her memory cleared. She hadn't died in an accident. She'd died fighting to save her daughter. And Emma Sarah's daughter, Danny's daughter, Cole's daughter, the Desert Reaper's daughter, was alive and safe and healing. That was the only thing that mattered. She'd survived, and she'd learned that surviving wasn't the same as living. But with the right people around you, survival could become life. Trauma could become strength, and broken promises could be remade into something better. Cole had kept his promise to Danny, but more importantly, he'd made new promises to Emma, and those promises he'd keep every single day for the rest of his life.